Hey, what is going on, everybody? How y'all doing out there? Look, we got to get straight to it today because we have an absolutely packed agenda. I've written notes down like a professional. Been up since 6 a.m. Grateful for the opportunity to do that. Work hard, get some work done, get my kids ready for school, get them to school, get home, do a little more work, and then I get to come and do this with you. Like, honestly, this is not a brag. This is not a humble brag. This is just me saying, like, I got a great life, and I am grateful for it. Thank you for being part of it. I'm excited to do this with you today. What's up, old man? Easy, Just Thanos, Eric, Pablo, and Laser. What is going on? What is going on? Just gonna set the table real quick. We are gonna open up those reunion crystals. Remember, we are accumulating all of them. We're doing one big opening. I'll talk about them more when we get to it because I do want to get through these things. We are then going to learn to fight dust. I feel pretty good about knowing how to fight dust. I've been talking about doing this video for forever, and I was like, you know what? We're going to stream it. You all might add something, and also I can answer questions as we go along. Then, and it was brought up by Faith Through Fire on my Discord server, and a lot of people were like, I agree. Bullseye, we know they tuned him down. Still really, really, really tough. I still struggle. I believe I understood the question that Faith was asking because it's a struggle I have had. And I think it's part of his design in fights to get you to struggle with this. We will go over that. Then we're going to cover Reunion Crystal. I've been asked about that a lot. Kind of cover the champions. I don't know if I'm going to have time to make a separate video. This is a very, very busy week. Then we'll talk a little bit about Silver Sable. I like to joke around about her. It is a joke. We're having some fun. And just kind of like how to handle that. My thoughts on her. Larry has been bringing that up quite a bit lately. And then I had planned on moving into BGs, but Old Man Easy is bringing up that it might be smart for us to start practicing Enchantress, and we'll get to side quests. If you're watching this on the playback, I will go back and do timestamps for all of this, because I realize your time is just as important as mine, and you might want to jump straight to a certain topic. And all of this has been at the request and the great request of folks on my Discord server. Really quick, really, I promise this will be like 30 seconds at most. Make sure you tune in this Saturday for VBC 5. FinTech is the VBC champion. He won 3 out of 4 of the full tournaments from season 1. He, of course, is the champion. He's got the belt, figuratively, not literally in this scenario. He's going to be putting it on the line in a championship matchup against #1 ranked contender, Andrew the Rough. Andrew is frequently winning Battleground season. Phenomenal player. Almost won a couple of those early VBC tournaments. It is going to be this Saturday, the 24th. Match starts at 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's the same time as Vancouver. But at 10:30, you do not want to miss this. I will be live interviewing none other than Kabam Crash. A lot of you know him as Kabam John. You know I have a ton of respect for him. I've gotten to... Ooh, that's weird. Now it's just all completely back. I've gotten to know him very well over the last few years. I am so pumped up to have him on stream. He's a straight shooter. He's let me know. And I told him, like, hey, there's going to be a couple things I think you and I are going to disagree on. And he's like, bring it on, Vega. Bring it on. You can't hurt me. All jokes aside, though, he's like, yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Uncomfortable disagreement. He's an adult. He's mature. He's smart. I love it. I cannot wait to talk to him. And we're also going to talk about a lot of fun stuff. He's given me some insights into a few of the things he's going to talk about. And I was like, are you saying what I think you're saying? So it's going to be really cool. Talk about his journey as a player. It's just cool to have someone taking the game as seriously as he is, playing it in that level, and then making decisions for the game. Just really, really awesome. So make sure you tune in for all of that. We're going to say hello to a couple more people, and then we're going to jump into these crystals. Just Thanos, I got my first rank 3 7-star. Sassy, nice. Dude, he's awesome. He's awesome. That's amazing. Pablo, potential life for later, running some friendlies where you place those champs you learned. Ooh, I like that idea. I like that a lot. Mr. Belding, Enchantress side quest sucks. Yeah, she kicked my ass yesterday. Kicked my ass. Bean, what's up, man? I'm stuck at work. Hope you all have a great day. I hope you have a great day too, my friend. Hope you have a great day. I felt like I was going up to a door and the wrong key for that fight. Yeah, you probably were, Mr. Belding. I know that's how I felt too. Oh, I see. I didn't tag you, man, but I finally had a great fight with Gladiator. I'm slowing down a little bit, and I found that was really helpful. I did share it in the BG's channel. So, okay, for those of you who are not familiar, I did buy this reunion deal, and I'll go ahead and say it, it's RNG, right? Like, I've seen people on Twitter who are like, I keep getting tier 4 alpha, and I'm like, I'm so happy for you. Me and my 6-star shards are really, really pumped up for you. And I'm starting to have trouble meaning it because I've not been getting that. But it's RNG. So we'll see. Any crystal has a chance to completely change our luck. This is going to be the second batch. We're opening these on stream. And then, we're going to put it all together and see, did it turn out? How did it go? The sample size, I think, is way too small for all the RNG statistics to balance out. So, all right, here we go. Let's open these up. We're going to open up these 5, and then we'll have 5 more to open. We opened up, I think, 22 on stream on Tuesday. And remember, that's what we're shooting for. Tuesday, Thursday streams, right around this time. Okay, here we go. Let's get some tier 4. Alpha or the Selector would be just like, actually, if I could get... Is it a Selector? I think it's a Selector. If it's a Selector, I would trade all the tier 4 Alpha for one Selector. Because I do want Punisher 2099. And then I could get him from the Selector that we know we're going to get later. And awaken him. So, it's good to repeat things. That's been one of my biggest challenges as a YouTuber, is to be like, oh, I just said that in a different video. And then they're remembering, like, no one watches every video, and they definitely don't watch all of every video. So repeating yourself is actually a good thing, because I've heard myself say it. You all haven't heard me say it. But the potions just feel like, I realize they are the add-ons, but when your luck is not good, they feel like a swift kick to the soft underbelly, let's call it. And, 7-star shards, I'm not upset about 7-star shards. I'm not. I keep picking incursion stuff. See, like this, where I'm like, thanks. But I keep picking incursion stuff because one of the things I don't like about the mode is I don't want to spend my units on that. I'll spend my units on stuff. That's fine. I don't want to spend it on incursions. And so to the best of my knowledge, there's no other way to get potions and revives and things like that. So that's why I'm taking all this incursions nonsense, despite not even really liking incursions. That was actually better than my luck has been, I think. But that still wasn't amazing. All right, let's pop these other 5. My drop rate on that has been, I don't know, I should probably actually look at the drop rate. I feel like I am beating the odds on getting those. And that's not where I want to beat the odds. That's not, yes, we did it. We finally did it. I'm gonna cry. I'm so happy. It was finally my turn. Everyone else has had so much fun. Then it's finally my turn to have a good time. I'm so happy. I can't believe how actually happy I am right now. Oh man. All right. Get a couple more of those, and all of a sudden I'll be like, these crystals have been amazing. They're fire. What? Why? Oh, this is just tier 3 alpha. That was a cruel joke. I thought it was more tier 4 alpha. That is a cruel, cruel joke, Kabam. That is cruel. Do not like that. I do not like that. And yay, health potions. Come on now. Do we have any more, or was that it? Yes! All right. Woo! We're in it to win it now, boys. We're in it to win it. Here we go. We are on fire. Can't not be stopped. This is cool. If Kat Murdoch's watching, she's like, oh, you too, Vega? You too? If she's watching, she knows what I'm referring to. And Sin maybe too. Oh, okay. I was ready for it though. I was ready for the prank this time. You can't get me. You're not gonna be able to Charlie Brown me. Kabam. I was ready for it this time. I was ready for it. I was ready for your shenanigans. That was a great 10. Now that I can see, that's how RNG goes. That is how RNG goes. My first 22, I was like, these crystals suck. And then my most recent 10, I'm like, they ain't so bad. What are you all complaining about? They're pretty good. All right, we can stop recording that now. Let me catch up on the chat just for a second, and then we're gonna move on to Mrs. Dust. What's up, Justin? How you doing, bud? Thanks for being here. I think I said hey to P-Dubs. What's up, man? Congratulations on an amazing day, P-Dubs. shoot, I dropped the cap on my pen. There's this. Can you believe that? Congratulations on an amazing day, buddy. Yesterday, I'm, I think about 5 years from that myself, and yeah, bittersweet. But congratulations on a huge milestone. Died a couple times for that side in Enchantress. Not a big deal. Yeah, it's not a big deal. I agree. But in BG or Alliance War, we'll get to her. I appreciate you bringing that up, Old Man Easy. Just so everyone knows, I'm gonna suck against her, but that's fine. I think that's kind of the point. Gav, you took Arcade to R3, and I don't regret it. That's awesome, dude. He's fun, and that's all that matters. It absolutely is. I could not agree more. And we all enjoy different things, dude. So yeah, that's amazing. 6 stars, I would take those in a heartbeat. Getting Valiant. So Francis, I think that's something I think it's important to always remind ourselves too, is kind of like how we all have different ideas on fun. As long as we're not hurting anybody, who the hell cares? And also, we're not all at the same level in this game, right? Like I got, I can't even think of what they're called, but the thing, it's right there. I think it's called the adamantium core. I've got everything unlocked. I do not need those. And I think I have like 15. But if you're just coming up, that's amazing. That is a huge value. And so like, I think that's really important to remember. And I'll of course cover that in the video when I do the compilation, is like, Crash didn't say, hey, you player, yes, you, I'm talking to you. You're going to get great value from this. He's like, when we put it into our machine that spits out values, this was one of the greatest values we've ever offered. Well, that's like, I mean, are there millions of people playing this game? There's a lot. I don't know exactly how many there are. We're all going to be at different places. And so a variety of things are going to be, more or less valuable for us. So that's awesome. And that's a great point. I could not agree with you more, I think is what I'm trying to say. I think it would be better for the 7-hour rune crystals to be a progressive base, to be honest. 6 stars are not what you need. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting because, I mean, I know you wrote that before I just said what I said, but, yeah. And thanks for all the congratulations, guys, on those crystals, because that was really a great way to end it. That was weird that my game just did that on its own. Kabram Crasher. Yeah, he's like, I'm going on that man's stream in about 48 hours. I don't want him too pissed off. Bittersweet. Dubs. Yeah, of course, man. The true max of fighting Enchantress is revives we spent along the way. And that's learning the true value of revives. Maybe Kabam's trying to tell me, Vega, be grateful for those revives and potions we've been giving you. You think you want to for alpha, but you need the revives. Garurov. I'm looking forward to the stream interview with Crash. Thanks, buddy. I am pumped up. And I know you're saying tomorrow, and there's a chance you're like in a different part of the world where it is already Friday. And so for you, it is tomorrow. But I want to be abundantly clear, just in case you're not, that the interview is on Saturday, the 24th at 10:30. All right. So we are now going to move on to Dust. I got to write this stuff down for the timestamps, so I can be accurate with folks who watch on the playback. That was really great advice from my my Discord server. And I got to set up my desk better for streaming while also writing things down, because that's the second time something has happened already. That has been a negative consequence to writing stuff. Okay, so I was being totally serious. I have already made a lot of a video to fight Dust. Actually making and editing this sort of a video is not a skill set that I am great at. I did it with Kindred. A lot of you have told me how helpful that video was. It just, full transparency, I think that video was about 18 minutes long. It could be condensed. That was one of the few bits of negativity I did get on it, and I appreciated the constructive criticism. I spent so many hours even just trying to get that video done, edited, and the way it was. And trust me, I wanted to condense it more. I just didn't know how. That's a skill set I don't currently possess. And so streaming this felt potentially like a better way. We're going to try this. We'll see how it goes. All right. And at the end of this, I do have 2 fights that I did voice over once you kind of put it all together. And we will take a look at that. And so you guys can kind of see like, okay, let's put it all together. Dust is tough. Now, I can understand why a lot of players, like Adamantium, was like, she's not that bad. You just got to be patient. And he's right. However, I can understand why, particularly in battlegrounds or in a place where the nodes like making you need to speed up, or maybe you have limited windows to do your damage or stuff, she starts to weigh on you because if she gets 4 of her sand on you, right, she's going to go in Sandstorm, and then you're taking damage you cannot avoid. Additionally, and I want to cover this now, with her signature ability, where is it? 1, you don't want to bleed her, okay? She's bleed immune anyway. You can see that right there. Dust is immune to bleed, poison, and shock. So all of those not going to help you. To make it even worse, if she is awakened, the second bullet point, whenever Dust prevents a bleed, so if you try to bleed her via immunity, there is an escalating chance, dependent on the SIG, to inflict an additional sand. You don't want that, right? It's going to send her into the sand debuff. And then another part of her SIG, it's the first bullet point. When either champion's combo meter reaches a multiple of 10, Dust has an, again, escalating. And you can see, even at SIG 1, that's already at 60%. So it is more likely than not, if you're hitting her, right, and keeping your combo up, that when you cross 10, she's going to put on an additional sand. When she gets to 4 sand, she's going into the storm, I think it's called. I'll probably multiple times misspeak and say sand, dust, these sorts of things. If you're really confused, let me know and we can go back and clarify. But I think people will be able to follow along. In general, you don't want to bring a purifier because of this bullet point here. When the opponent purifies a debuff, dust deals a burst of physical damage and inflicts a sand, right? So all of these things going together. One of the big things you can do in your favor, though, right, her like hard counters, let's call them, is this last bullet point that we have on the screen now. Well, now it's technically the last. Inflicting dust with an incinerate or a plasma effect will crystallize her sand, removing 1 sand. So she's definitely got this game. Like she's asking you to play this game, right? Where you need to monitor how much sand you have on you. There are some ways to take it off. And if you don't have a hard counter, you can still defeat her. And I will show that. I'm going to take a fight with Werewolf, who obviously does not place plasma nor incinerate, and we end up being just fine. What's up, Misty? I see Misty's name there. Appreciate it. Beautiful thumbnail for today's stream. Thank you, Misty. Making all my thumbnails these days. She's doing a phenomenal job. And let's see, what's the last thing I think you just really want to be aware of is you don't want to hit her block, right? Because when you hit Dust's block, she puts a sand on you, making her a little more dangerous to intercept in these sorts of things. And and this is it. This is the other key component. You want to learn her SP1 evade. It's not bad. I can do it. If I can do it, I really believe you can, okay? Because each hit inflicts a sand debuff, right? These can be inflicted through the block. So if you don't evade it, you're going to see her getting into her sandstorm even faster. So let's go ahead and we're going to kind of show some of the things you don't want to do against Dust. If anyone is like, I did not understand that, if there's something that you want to really see shown, please let me know and we will kind of go over it. But I think once you understand Dust, I actually think she's pretty simple. I think it's the in-game mechanics of what you need to do that make her difficult, right? And you can see why in Battlegrounds, people are stressing against her a little more, because in Battlegrounds, you want to go faster, right? You want to go faster. So here we go. And I'm just doing this because I want to show you a couple things. See, we hit her block and we've got the sand. Hold still, Dust. I need to hit you. I need to hit your block. There we go. I think it can only happen like every 6 seconds, maybe. I am watching my screen, not my phone, while doing this, so this isn't the easiest. But let's try this. There we go. And so now the other thing you can't do in the sandstorm is you can hold block. And you see how when I'm holding block, we're getting 284. And then when I'm not holding block, it goes up to 709. Was that pretty clear to everyone? You can hold block to minimize the amount of damage you're taking while she's in sandstorm. And it's a massive decrease. We went from, what was it, 208 to from 708 to 209, I think it was, or something in that general range. And my Dust is not awakened, so I don't need to worry about the combo counter. Let's go ahead and take a minute. I want to read the chat and see if anyone's like, hey, I got a question. And there's no dumb questions. Seriously, well, as long as the question has to do with Dust, there's no dumb questions. What's up, Tobias? John got hurt. Yeah, it's situational. right? And I don't have mine awakened. Obviously, my 7-star is not awakened, so I can't show that. But I think I do fight an awakened dust in the video I made, so we can kind of use that. I use Phantom Warlock for dust, easy intercepting. Because of future Ant-Man's AI manipulation. Warlock, I'm not sure I understand why the intercept, just because of his natural intercept. If you, Nixon, if you could expand on that a bit more, I'd appreciate it. Cowboy 450, what's up, buddy? Misty, the thumbnails are awesome. They are absolutely awesome. Ironheart has insert and she can parry dust. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some of the hard counters, okay? Or as close to a hard counter as we got. Old Man Easy, I appreciate you shouting them out. If anyone has some other just hard counters that they believe in, please let me know. I do think Ironheart is by far one of the best. I happen to have an Awakened. I've pulled her quite a few times. Ironheart. And the reason why she is one of the best is because she places so many debuffs, right? Just on her combos. So, oh yeah, and thank you for reminding me about the parry. But see right there, we got the sand debuff on us. Let's try to get another one. And then they just come right off because we are placing these incinerators. And so we completely evaded the SP1, so we don't need to sweat it. And the last piece of kind of like game advice, and Old Man Easy is bringing that up, is I believe it is Dust. I can't recall if it's Dust medium or light that doesn't make attack. I think that's her light attacks. Yeah, because they made it so she could fight Orgs and Atumas. They don't make contact. So one of the things you'll see I do in the fights where I'm really trying to show you like, hey, here's how we do it all, is I'm going to back way up so that I can parry her dash in. So I can parry that in to ensure it's in medium. What about the Goat Venom the Duck? He places Degen when bleed immune. John, you know what? I am unfamiliar with that. So let's go ahead and take a look at that too real quick for everybody. Venom the Duck keeps finding interesting ways to be a good counter. I've never really been... Oh wait, Venom the Duck? I thought you said Howard. We can still show Venom real quick though, I think. Do I have a Venom the Duck? He's cosmic. My boy Strands would love seeing Venom the Duck getting his due. She's horrible in 2023. The war map. So you don't want to bring in a bleeder, especially if she's awakened. I'm actually interested in this interaction. Remind me, when does Venom the Duck place his bleed and the regen? Oh, there it is. Okay, that's really cool. I tend to bait the SB1. If you're really looking for speed and you feel proficient in it, you can block bait. So watch, we'll do that. And try to force her to her SB2. Well, you don't want to do what I just did, obviously. So here it is again, the holding block, minimizing damage. You can see we're getting 256 a tick, and then she went out of it. One of the reasons why that's still like ultimately dangerous is if you're just sitting there holding block, she's gonna start hitting into your block and doing damage. So it's a bit of those like you're gonna take damage no matter what. So you can just block this SB2. You could learn the evade, obviously. I don't know it. I don't know how tough it is. I tend to bait the SB1 because when I've made mistakes, it's because the SB1 catches me off guard because I'm trying so hard to push her to her SB2. Other really natural counters here would be Sunspot, Human Torch, Absorbing Man, right? Remember, he can place that, I believe it's an instant incinerate. It does work. If I do decide to make this a video, and I'll leave this kind of up to you all, if you're like, no, make the full video. I probably won't go over everything we've just gone over. I'll just show like some ideal counters. But Absorbing Man and his Incinerate will work because it's Incinerate effects is my understanding. Let's confirm that really quick. Let's confirm it. And you saw the SB1 evade multiple times. Well, here, let's check out the confirm that is effect. Yeah. There it is. So inflicting dust with incinerate or plasma effect. So the can be a passive or a debuff. does not matter, will do the crystallization of the sand, removing one sand effect. Okay. Ultron does the same thing. Yes, thank you. What's up, Yoshi? Thanks for being here, man. It's really cool. I appreciate the comment you made on my video recently. It's just nice to see you say hi. I miss you, bud. Yeah, thanks for showing up today. I appreciate it. And what was I saying though? Seeing Yoshi, I really like all of you. But Yoshi and I were in the same alliance together for a while and had some fun jokes and stuff. Really like Yoshi, and that took me off of what I was concentrating on. I think we were talking about ideal counters and that sort of thing. If anyone can get me back on track, I'd appreciate it. Oscar. Sorry, man. Oscar, thanks, buddy. I'm going with Oscar because I see the Sanchez Fernandez. Omega Sentinel. So Omega Sentinel, I know that she seems like, and I'm someone who really likes Omega Sentinel. I know that on her face, like on at first glance, you would think she would be a hard counter. And I'm not saying that she's not. What I am saying is recall that she doesn't place her incinerates like off the basic attacks, right? And, I guess Absorbing Man's kind of like this weird in between. But a lot of the quote unquote hard counters that you're hearing us mention are placing those effects or debuffs off their basic attacks. But see, like right now, Omega Sentinel can't help us. And it's not till I believe she's got 3 of her debuffs up, and you try to place another one that she will place her plasma or her incinerate, and then it's off of her SP2. So we see, so like that's how this can go bad. Hopefully that was pretty clear to everybody. I do like Omega Sentinel for Dust for this very reason, right? And she's got benefits against mutants who have prowess to begin with, which Dust does have. I'm not saying she's a bad counter. What I'm saying is she's not going to save you in the way that these other champions who are placing those debuffs or those effects just off their basic attacks, like you can almost on demand, you get it when you need it. She's not able to do that. Would Onslaught be an ideal counter? No, because isn't he just placing... he's just placing... his Daunted and his Neuroshocks, right? There may be an interaction that you're aware of, Tobias, or you're thinking of that I'm not seeing. There might be something you're seeing that I'm not. So let's go ahead and just look at it, because I realize, it's a lot easier for me to sit here and talk than it is for you to type. No, I don't. This doesn't look good to me. I was late on that punish, but... I mean, he's fine. See, that's the thing with Dust, is she can be fought by almost anyone. Someone who's placing bleeds, especially against an Awakened Dust, you just don't want to do that. And we went over that, right? Because she's just going to get that sand. It's just going to go really bad. Bishop on the SP1, then it lasts a fair bit. All right, let's check that out too. And just for clarity, guys, I really appreciate you doing this, because the whole point of this is to try to help everyone out. It's to try to help everyone out. So taking a few extra minutes to look at some other non-obvious ideal counters, or not obvious to me counters, I think is well worth it. I think it is well worth it. So thanks. Yeah, see, it'd be great. I don't know if it's necessarily bad though, Tobias. Ooh. Remember what I was saying about the parry is off of the medium? You're going to get, I believe you do get a sand that way. So this is what I mean about being patient. If you can intercept her and not deal with that, you're obviously better off. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. Because remember, Bishop, it's an aura, right? So she's landing these from hitting our block. And, well, okay. I mean, obviously that's not how you would play it. I was trying to show the effect of Bishop's aura. That's pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I would not have thought of that. I would not have thought of that. Your latest stream, but you mentioned, yeah, Ironheart was Old Man Easy brought that up right away. Sunspot is a great one. Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I would not have thought of that because I just don't enjoy playing her. That is a great one. You're right, because she just plays them like crazy. Guys, shocking breaking news. Jaeger has again pointed out a use for Luke Cage. That's really cool. I would not have thought of that too. That's awesome. Luke Cage is awesome. Jaeger's even more awesome. If you had to try out one of the glancing champs I named. Oh, Pablo, I didn't see you name it, but Cersei Maestro Dust herself, when played right, can parry her without. Yes, thank you. I did a whole outline for a video, and there was a whole section for that. The Illuminati pitched in a lot of ideas, and yes, you're right. Cersei was one. So we'll do that really quick. And then we'll show the two fights together. It's. I hope you guys can hear it. I've never tried to do that before, so we'll get that done. But here we go. So this will help you when dust hits your block, right? If she's glancing. So let's go ahead and do this. Cersei, you get the glancing up with a heavy, I think, if I remember correctly. So let's try to start the fight with that. And then when we parry, oh yeah, so that's really cool. We are not getting sand debuff. So like right there, that's why I think it's so important to learn the SP1 evade. It's not the same as my thoughts exactly on why I emphasize learning the SP1 evade in the Kindred video. But it is similar in that I know that there is a temptation to push the defender to the SP2. When it works, it's great. But you can get in so much trouble if you don't do it. It looks like the SP2 can actually just be outranged. Let me try to see that. I've actually never tried that before. That was completely fortuitous. Yeah, it looks like you can just outrange it, guys. I was just basically randomly swiping back. So if you can push her to the SP2, that is really, really, really nice. Let's see what... That right there is why, though, because you know that you can block bait all you want. But sometimes the AI is like, I want to throw my special. I don't care if you're holding block. So I really... I kind of, in my head, when I'm fighting Dust, I think of her SP1 as almost similar to any unblockable SP1, right? I first learned this when Iron Man Infinity War came into the game, where because his SP1 was unblockable, I just didn't want to even end my combo in a medium, because I might not have time to get the heck out of the way of it. And with Dust, you don't want to get clipped. You do not, even into the block, you don't want to take the SP1 into the block. Pablo, yeah, as you can see, I don't really know how to play Cersei well, so thank you. James, what's up, buddy? I tried my 3 budget adjustment last season, but his damage couldn't overcome all the armor up us. Yeah, and that, that's just going to be, dependent on the nodes and things like that, right? It's a great point. Thank you for bringing it up. I think Bishop's in that category of like in a pinch. Battlegrounds, or you're questing and you just couldn't fit in a good counter, or you're questing and they're like me and you didn't look ahead on the path and you got there and you're like, oh crap, what do I do? Oh, I've got Bishop. I would think. I mean, that's also going to minimize his damage too, right? Throwing those SP1s and things like that. I think I don't know if he's not going to do as much damage as he otherwise could be doing. That's not his natural, I think, damage loop. But that's fine. The glancing makes Dust pretty good for Dust. It's right, because no one's immune to sand and that sort of thing, which also makes sense. You just tried Luke. That is nice. Also just dupe. Mr. Belding, I can't... You stole my Luke dupe. And you know what? If someone's going to do it, I'm glad it was you. Vulture has an Incinerate. Yeah, but then you got to play Vulture. Just kidding. Actually, I'm not. I don't like Vulture. But I'm not going to yuck your yum. If you enjoy Vulture, go for it. All right. So let's see the video really quickly. Will you guys do me a favor? Let me know if the sound is coming through, okay? Is there any sound? Can you guys hear me talking? Let's take a look at 2 examples of this. The first one's going to be a rank 5 Sig 200. So we've got to be aware of our combo counter, right? We're going to get to 10. We're going to get an extra dust. Right, so we don't want to accidentally center, or an extra sand. We don't want to accidentally center into the sandstorm. So as we've shown, you can safely land that first parry. You can see the sand there is trickling down. It's gone. We don't need to worry about it. Now, in this fight, I'm going to make a mistake, and I'm not going to land the SP1 Dex. You can see it right there. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Once you kind of used to it, you're gonna nail it most of the time here, right? So there we go. We had 2 because we crossed the combo counter of 10. You can see when we hit 10, another sand went on us. I know I'm not sometimes actually saying dust, sometimes saying sand. It's sand. It's fine. I know by this point you fully understand it. Now right there, and I think that's part of why I missed the SP1 Dex, is that I should have pushed her to the SP2 and I knew it, but that's fine. I'm pausing this because what I want you to see is the sandstorm is causing that 711 red number right now. Now I'm going to hold block. You're going to kind of see what happens here. So it's caused 711, 711. I'm holding block and it goes down to 285. So that is a significant decrease in the amount of damage it's causing, right, as it's going through. The one negative, though, is you can see she comes in, hits my block, causing 991. This is a 6-star rank 5, hitting to a 7-star rank 2. So it's about equal, but I've got the challenger rating in my favor. So it doesn't save you from like all damage. It does mitigate damage a lot, though, right? 285 is way better than what was it, 711. And then Shocker doing what he's supposed to do. One of the reasons why I call out champions who can end fights fast, right? They can end fights fast, can be really, really helpful against Dust here, and we're going to end this with the heavy. So there you go. Land the SP1. You can land your parries. When you're fighting a Sig 200, you know it's a 100% chance for her to get that extra sand when you crossed combos of 10. We got the win anyway. The way things are right now in Battlegrounds, that's a pretty good fight against Dust. Now we're going to look at this is a great matchup here. Going in with our werewolf going against a Dust. Now this is a Sig 0, not even Awakened. So like my Dust, I don't need to worry about the combo counter. Now, on the other side, though, one of Werewolf's strategies, one of the ways you play Werewolf is by hitting into the block. We know you don't want to do that. So you're going to see this is a really unideal option. This is not a hard counter in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't land Plasma, doesn't land Incinerate, kind of wants into the block sometimes, doesn't have to. But you're going to see you can end up with a really, really, really nice score, even without a hard counter, right? So we're going to evade our SP1. Everything's going well there. I do not need to worry about the combo counter, right? I don't need to worry about that. This Dust is not awakened. We're getting our power up. And I knew this was going to be a really good match. I knew this was really going to be a good match. And so I wanted to hold on to as much of my health as I could. I probably should have thrown the SP1 earlier, but this is about how to fight Dust, not about how to play Werewolf, so that's fine. Gonna evade this SP1, and then we're gonna go in and finish it, right? We don't need to worry about the combo. It's like, I wanna make sure you understand that, because there's this between the Unawakened and the Awakened Dust, and then we can just go in and basically in this fight, we should throw our Striker, and then go in with our SP2, and just absolutely end it, because I knew that Werewolf would end the fight. Now I'm gonna end up losing this in particular fight. My opponent played extremely, extremely well, and then we end up winning the third one. All right, I literally can't hear the video. It's just my setup isn't good enough for me to hear that. If I recall, I think everything has been explained. You guys let me know if it was not if it was not Mr. Building. You're making me laugh, but that's it. And I don't think I mentioned it in this Werewolf fight because it wasn't the focus of it. Dust had a bunch of armor ups, which was increasing that SP2 damage. So this was less about Wolf necessarily, more about how to fight her if you don't have an ideal counter. You got to take your time. It's when we try to go a little too fast, right, is where it becomes a problem. If there's any other questions about Dust, though, or something like that, let me know. I think it's time to move on to something like to either Bullseye or Reunion Crystal chat. You guys let me know. We could either go directly into Bullseye or we could go directly into kind of talking about the best options from the Reunion Crystal selector. So you all let me know what you'd like to do first. Akbar, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you showing up, dude. And Slinger, what's up, bud? Never making sure. Yeah, Tuesday, Thursday. That is the plan for now. I'm going to do my best Tuesday, Thursday around this time, sometime between like 9:30, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I live in California, so that's my time zone. and going to try to do Tuesday, Thursday, regular thing, and kind of go over stuff like this. I think stuff that'll be helpful to people, or stuff I know I need to learn. I'm going to continue to get requests and things like that from my Discord server. So this was actually their idea. And lo and behold, it seems like it could help a lot of people. So that's kind of cool. Okay, reunion crystal. All right. So we will go over streaming your PJs. You know, Jay, well, what's up, dude? All right. So let's jump straight into the reunion crystal. And you all are probably going to have to remind me which champions there are, but let's go ahead and talk about it. You took Dust to R3. I really like, just to put a bow on Dust really quick, I actually really like Dust. She's not as quickly powerful, potent, like for Battlegrounds, even in her ideal matchups, as I thought she would be. However, I've loved questing with her. I see the stuff she does in War. I think she's a great offensive champion. I think her defensive struggle, the puzzle that is presented by her, particularly in Battlegrounds because of the time pressures, is stronger than I thought it would be. I think she's a great champion. There's a reason why she shows up in the second tier of my tier list. The Illuminati agree. Like, she's one of the few that we're all like, we all agree. And that video should be coming out literally tomorrow morning for the August update. So that should be coming out. There's a few more things in the chat here. Akbar, thank you. That's a great point. She's also currently bugged offensively. So her damage ramp actually may be better. Even the way it is, it's not horrible. Okay. Let's go over the Selector crystal, right? So it is the 7 stars. And I would imagine most of you are familiar with my channel, the way I think about things, the way I think about the game. And so you know what I'm going to say. The best champion for you to select is the one that you enjoy, and not just because it's a game and you should have fun, but also pragmatically because you're probably going to know how to use them. You're going to enjoy them, so you will play them. And therefore, when content is difficult, which is when decisions like this matter, whether it's the defender or the node or whatever, it's just more difficult. You're going to know how to play them. And so you're going to get better results out of a champion that's in my 3rd tier or the 4th tier of my tier list, because if they're on the tier list, that means they're at least worthy of considering ranking. We don't rank the not good champions, okay? And so you're going to know how to play them better, and so you're going to get better results with them than if you ranked up or selected the champion I have higher rating that you have no idea how to play. So it's more fun, it's also pragmatic, and also therefore more fun. So keep that in mind throughout all of this. The science champion, who is the science champion for this crystal? Oh, okay, Hulk. He may be the most extreme version of this, where you're just probably never going to use him in competitive Battlegrounds or competitive War because of just literally the way he works, right? He does damage to himself. In War, yes, DLL did add that synergy with Absorbing Man that I think protects him from dying due to, I can't even think of the name, assassins, right? If the defender's running an assassin. But just so frequently, there's a variety of superior options for the things you're going to be wanting to do in War. Similar thing with Battlegrounds. Now, there is cases, there's ideas that he might be a really good defender in Battlegrounds. The health pool is massive, right? The whole healing concept, the immortality could buy you time. Plus, if somehow the defender or the attacker makes a mistake and he gets in the stun, you're probably dead. Your opponent is probably dead. He's a phenomenal quester, though, right? For people who are relatively new to the game, there was a YouTuber named Buddy Lee. I actually got to know Buddy for a little while. Really, really cool guy. Really do like him a lot. And he did phenomenal things with iHulk. We're already seeing that in some slightly longer form, or what's supposed to be longer form content. But iHulk can do so much damage so quickly that he can just brutalize it for you. He's a champion that I'm not upset that I have. There's one champion in particular that I do want, and so not getting that one has kind of irked me. Not a ton of utility as far as like the Petrifier, things like that, right? I think that's what comes off of his signature ability. So there's not a ton of utility there, so that's why you're not going to see him, despite all of this massive damage, not being very high in my tier list. I think the game frequently in tougher content asks for these sorts of things, right? And the science class has come so far. But if you want to beat the crap out of stuff and have a great time doing it, there might be no one better than a Hulk Immortal. Nagase has shown this recently, and I believe Adamantium, one of the spreadsheet wizards, has shown, and that's why it's like it's supposed to be long form content, but Adamantium and Nagase have shown how quickly iHulk can get those things down, and it's like that was not that long of form. I think it's like a minute and 30 seconds to take down Destroyer and things like that. So yeah, it took me 5 minutes to say what Old Man Easy just said. iHulk is a champ that you either love or you never use him. He is a little AI reliant. That is true, and definitely requires a lot of skill. I agree with both of those things. Those often do go hand in hand, right? The higher skill champions do tend to have more reliance on manipulating the AI, which is a skill. All right, so I could see people reasonably thinking he's the best champion in the Crystal. I could also see people reasonably thinking he is literally the worst. For me, I've got him. I may rank him up at some point. We'll see. Okay, so let's move on to skill and okay. I think this one could be really cut and dry. I think she is almost certainly the quote unquote worst champion in there. I think she's good enough to be in a crystal like this. Jaeger on my Discord server, right? The guy that was here, he was here earlier. He's one of the first ones that really clued us into how quick Luke could be in Battlegrounds. I was very unaware of that. I really liked Luke's buff. One of the things I said is like, I don't know if he's gonna be quick enough for war and Battlegrounds. The answer is he obviously can. I've taken my own Luke to rank 3. If we have time, we'll do some Luke Cage stuff today in this stream. Misty does have that loop where she can kind of stay unblockable. The thing is, the damage isn't amazing off of it. There's just not that much more to say about her. Jaeger is trying to kind of maximize her. He's a very smart player, and he's been showing that on my Discord server. I just honestly don't have that much more to say about her for 2 reasons. One is I do think she's probably objectively the worst in a very good pool. And also, as a result, I don't know as much about her. So I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you guys. Okay, so now move on to the mutant, who is... How do I not know? Oh, okay. White Magneto. We will probably talk about this for a good period of time in the tier list video that's going to come out tomorrow. I haven't recorded it, so I need to see how long it's going to be and do the editing on that. But he was a topic of lengthy conversation when I presented the updated tier list to the Illuminati. DLL badly wants to awaken his because Magneto. So if you get Magneto and you're going to rank him, I think you're going to want to get him from the Selector. And it is due to, kind of both bullet points, but in my experience, it's the first one. Magneto's bleed and armor break debuffs gain up to, just at Sig 1, it's already almost 50% duration based on how many bonus special, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So that's a pretty long time, and that is a large part of his damage. If you're bringing him along, the mutant class doesn't have, it's not like littered with champions now who have that whole passive stun replacement, which is why a lot of people wanted to bring along Wags. I call him Wags. But, so there are options if you don't have him nowadays, but it's not like they're littered. It's not like every champion's got that, right? We've got Onslaught and Negasonic Teenage Warrior. This is also a good champion. He was overshadowed by the outstanding, amazing, eye-catching nature of the red one. But this is a champion who we actually had at times in the second tier of the tier list, which is extremely good. And he's one of the ones that's just slowly fallen down due to the mutant class getting stronger over the last, 3 years. More champions having that passive stun replacement ability, so you didn't need him. And also, he wasn't available as a 7-star. That's literally it. So this is a champion. I listened to a podcast that makes fun of that phrasing, but I can see why. But I'm hearing myself say it so much. Magneto is a champion that I believe will definitely move up now that he's available as a 7-star, because we'll remember how powerful he actually is. He will help you and your whole team get better. Remember, he has incredible synergies with some of my favorite champions. They might not be on his side. There's this one with Professor X. If you're a Professor X player, you probably already aware of this. With Guardian, so there's some really nice teams, and Guardian's phenomenal for your team too. So that's actually a really fun team there as well, is Guardian, Professor X, and Magneto. I remember there was a period of war where I just couldn't get them all ranked enough to utilize them. He's really awesome for, I think it's the final quest node. I'm not seeing it, so maybe it's not him and I'm misremembering. But he's honestly a very awesome, solid champion. I think he'll probably end up moving to the 3rd tier. And if you were going to take him, if you were going to rank him, I do think you want him awakened, though. So keep that in mind. See if there's any questions for this. Good point about the stat focus. What's up, K-Dog? What's up, Enchantress? How you doing, man? Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Cosmic. The Cosmic champion is... Do not take it as a sign of their value that I can't remember who it is. It's just, I just have a lot going on, so I can't always remember stuff. Okay. Almost literally everything I just said about WAGs as far as champion that came out, really, really powerful, not available as a 7-star. Their class they're in, of course, improved and evolved during that time. Literally all of that, you could just take it, apply it directly to Venompool. When Venompool came into the game, myself, DLL, and Campo, and I think Campo did the full video on it, and it was a legitimate debate. Who was better, Venompool or Venom? It was a legitimate debate. Now remember, this is before relics and strikers had come into the game, and that's been a lot of what's propelled Venom to the high reaches that we're now seeing, okay? But he was still a great champion at the time. People were using this to take out Penny Parkers. This was a great Penny Parker counter before Hulkling and Gallon came into the game. He is a little more tailored toward your non-nuke fights. So it'll be interesting to see if he has any role to play in Battlegrounds now that the classes are so rich. Like, he was on some of the initial Battlegrounds tier lists. Remember also, I think this is very important. This is very important. Because especially if you're a relatively new player, you might not know this. Venom's SP1 is a true nullify. So nullify immune stuff, whatever, can't do it. Can't do it, right? Well, Venompool is an omnom. So he's not affected, basically, he doesn't play by the same rules, let's say, as a nullify. Very cool. Multiple damage sources, right? Doesn't he have the degen, I think, as well? And then he has fantastic synergies with some really cool champions that, Falcon can be kind of boring, but as I like to say, if you find winning fun, he's not that boring. So I think he's great. You see Venom's on there as well, too. Symbiote Supreme, that sort of thing. Captain America Infinity War. This one with Sunspot, right, and Human Torch. There's Nimrod and Bishop. So these are really powerful champions that he's got these great synergies with as well. I don't predict he's going to make a huge, let's call it like waves in Battlegrounds, but I do believe that you'll start seeing him used in War and in questing and those sorts of things, because he's even got like a really, really nice ramp, like once he gets going. So J-Will, and for those who don't know J-Will, by the way, J-Will is like one of the best Battlegrounds players in the world. So when he's saying he loves Falcons and Battlegrounds, like, I mean, yeah. Okay, so let's move on to... Now, this is the champion that I most wanted because I believe he will make the biggest difference in Battlegrounds immediately. There's not a lot of like, oh, I think this, or, if this falls this way or whatever. No, the only reason why this 6-star isn't being used, I think at least a bunch, is because literally of the prevalence of 7-star rank 3s and rank 2s at your more competitive levels, right? And again, so that's going to be a lot of like, what level are you trying to play at, right? I'm contented finishing Quantum. I'm actually contented finishing even below that, if that's just where I end up, because I tilted or whatever the kids call it these days, and I lost 10 in a row. I'm like, I don't got 8 hours to spend climbing back up to Mysterium 1. I just don't. I think it's really cool that some people do. I just personally don't. The other thing that we're going to point out, and we'll talk about this more in the tier list video, is he controls combat power rate, right? A lot of that's with his battery. I often shout out Trappy's channel because I think he's a really smart player, and I also find him very funny. But he has a really great video on Punisher 2099 Unawakened. So if you pull him, or if you're like me and you haven't pulled him, and then you get to the Selector, watch that video. It's really nice. Essentially, just the too long didn't watch, although you should go do that, is he's going to get into his kind of battery mode about 10 to 15 seconds faster once he's awakened, and that helps you control the combat power rate. He has incredibly powerful synergy with Captain America Infinity War, and that can help replace that not being awakened. So if battlegrounds aren't that big of a concern for you and you like playing with Captain America Infinity War, hello Oz fan, hopefully you are watching, my friend, you're going to have a great time. And the other incredibly important thing is, and we talked about this in Illuminati, was he doesn't need to land a debuff to do any of this. This lives in his kit. I'm not saying he's as powerful as America Chavez. I want to be abundantly clear on that. I am not saying he's as powerful as America Chavez, but that's exactly what you've heard me say about America Chavez in like probably 8,000 videos by now. Is one of the things that makes her so powerful and tough to slow down is that everything lives in her kit. It can't be purified. It can't be neutralized. It can't be whatever the hell they're calling nodes these days. Like, it can't be the node where you get a buff, because they're not buffs. It all lives within her. And so it provides tremendous like breadth of what they can take, right? You can go and you can fight like Kingpin, I believe anyways. If someone knows that you can't, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't like tested this. But like Kingpin, you don't need a debuff to land and stay, right? This is why I like America Chavez for Kingpin. I don't need a debuff to land and stay. And I can control combat power rate and build up my cycle and things like that. So for me, this is why Punisher 2099 is by a large margin, by far my most wanted. By a large margin and by far. I'm doubling down on that. And it's because I think he's going to be great in Battlegrounds. I think he's going to be very usable in War. You know, if you're playing Tier 1, it's whatever's designed and whatever the map in front of you is asking for. Going to be great in questing. Long form, probably not, but maybe. But I mean, how much true long form do we get these days, right? Like even Crucible, Punisher 29 could definitely have helped you and taken Crucible level health pools and things like that. So for me, this is the number one, and you will see that reflected in the tier list that comes out tomorrow. And then we'll very quickly cover the last champion. This is a lot of talking. There's a lot of talking. My voice is starting to go. Is Man-Thing. Without a doubt, I'm going to go out on the limb. And Jay, if Jay Will's still here, is I think that Man-Thing, I'm not predicting that he starts defining the meta like the way like Bullseye or Serpent has. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I think even your Celestial level Battlegrounds players are going to have to start thinking, oh shit, what if I run into a Man-Thing? And I think that's why he's here. I very much do. I think that's why Kabam has put him in the game. Is there's a bit of Silk probably not going to do this. Your Human Torch as a 6-star ascended probably not going to take out your 7-star Man-Things, right? This is a good defender. What does he do? He allows crits, but he removes all the additional damage, I believe it is. Yeah, there it is right there. You can see it. The man made of mush. Poor Man-Thing. He's like, it's not mush. He's supposed to be an imposing figure, and they're calling him mush, like he's mashed potatoes. But it's the last thing there, right? And prevents critical hits from dealing bonus damage. So your nuke science champions that have this massive crit damage and things like that, or can just get fights over with quickly, not going to be able to do it against him. BMcG has done a tremendous amount of Man-Thing videos with the 6-star, so check that out for offensive use. And someone else has recently too that I watch, and their name is escaping me, and I'm sorry if you're out there or viewers, if you're like, no, so and so has done videos on 7-star Man-Thing, let me know, say it in the chat, and so I can repeat that out there, because I always want you all to see the great content, and there's some great content out there. B's done some really nice stuff, I know, with his 6-star as well. Offensively, right, he's got that armor break and the pustules and the poison damage. I tend to run Mystic Dispersion 5/5. In fact, I just pretty much constantly have it on, so I often get pushed to my SP3 with him. But it's fine. He's got a really nice play style, and I don't even know if it's relevant anymore. I'm going back like 3 years. He had a really nice synergy with Cosmic Ghost Rider. Where's Cosmic Ghost Rider? That I wonder if it even feels relevant anymore, or if us as a player base kind of moved past it. I haven't checked the synergy out in years, guys. Where is it? Yeah, it's funny. I remember at the time, this felt like it would be a really big deal, kind of helping you get in your heavy charge with CGR. I mean, I guess it is. I'm not going to say it's not. But I remember back years ago, this felt like, ooh, okay, this is going to really help you out with CGR. And that's not bad, actually, for a Man-Thing as well. So he's not a nuke. He's not going to help you like bust things down super fast. But he does have a heal. You saw what he does to crit, so he's going to be pretty tanky for you. And a really good champion. All right, let's go ahead and take some questions on any of this, if anyone has anything, and then we will move on. I can feel my voice starting to go. We'll move on to Bullseye. Easy. I think Venompool is better than Venom, except in BGs. It's weird as it sounds, because oh man, Easy, I have a feeling you've been playing the game for a long time. Like, you remember when Venompool came into the game. I actually, if I remember correctly, I thought Venompool was better. Like, they were different, but they did have enough crossover, like in a Venn diagram sort of way, that I could definitely understand why people were comparing and wanted to know, like, who should I rank up? If I recall correctly, I was on the Venompool side of things. This is before Battlegrounds existed, this was before Strikers and that sort of stuff. I wonder if nowadays, because of the Striker and the specific relic for Venom, if it's going to almost be more beneficial for viewers if I don't even frame it as a comparison between the two. Like, if they're just different enough, and Venom has enough like RNG, if you get the bleeds going and the bleed vulnerabilities and all that stuff, and if you get the right buffs, Venom's just going to destroy things for you, whereas Venompool is going to be a little bit more reliable. Like, I think that's even his signature ability, right, where you can pick which buff he starts off with. So, so then Easy, you were following it up. This is obviously a while ago. Venom can pitch up much better than Venom. Venompool gets stronger and stronger. Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, it is. I really like Venompool a lot. Let's see, a Punisher Showcase big guy pulled him, but I don't think I know how to use him. Okay, so I don't have him, right, as you just saw, Daniel. And again, I want you all to see the best. I don't mean the best skill. I mean, like, videos, people showing stuff. People are approaching the game, I think, in really, really healthy ways to help us all have a great time and learn. Go watch Trappy. Like, no joke. And I realize you're like, okay, cool, and you're going to close my stream. That's totally fine with me, because you want to see a Pun 29 showcase. Trappy did a great one. It's Unawakened. You're going to love it. And then come back if you want. Make sure you subscribe to Trappy while you're there, though. Jaeger, Man-Thing is absolutely champion. You have to play around, which is why I took him to R3 instantly. Yeah, and so for those who don't know, Jaeger typically plays at pretty high tier Battlegrounds as well. Not a massive whale, so I think that's a bit more of a challenge, but plays at a very, very high tier. Yeah, I think so, dude. Like, I really love Overseer. Like, I'm kind of hoping this makes it so I have more uses for my Overseer in a Battlegrounds deck, because I'm all about, like, let's have fun, play the champions I want to play. But I also don't want to sit there and lose 20 in a row, because I'm like, I'm having fun. That's not fun, right? Like, I can't think of the name of the character in The Simpsons, but you all know who I'm talking about, where I'm just sitting there with my finger up my nose being like, I'm in danger. Dildos, I duped my Man-Thing, haven't played him in years. He's a pain. Yeah. I mean, there you go, man. I agree. Outside of BGs, I think Man-Thing will also be really good for Serpent. How's he going to handle the immortality, though, man? Or is it, or are you just baking that in? Like, almost everyone's got to deal with the immortality somehow. So, I think Nagase. Ooh, okay. If it was Nagase, I know Nagase made the video on iHulk. But if he made one, that young man knows what he's talking about. Young man knows what he's talking about. Even in the tough meta we just had, I was able to chunk him down. Okay, so Jaeger's already explaining kind of, just couldn't get past the death immunity. All right. What's up, Chris? Thanks for being here. Chris Gonzalez. Man-Thing's one of the few mystics that his power could create. Yeah, it does. That's one of my issues with playing Man-Thing. And I think it was Jaeger who was like, just throw specials. Like, just as soon as you get it, just throw it. Kind of like how I play Kindred, honestly, when I do play Kindred. Not that much these days, but... Rashad, I think you're literally the inspiration for this whole section. For me, remember to doing this. You and Larry Diamond in the comment section. Where it's like, you know what people are asking for? I think it's a great question. I think it'd make a good segment. I really should make a video on it. I just only have so much time. Hopefully that really helped. Hopefully this breakdown of that all helped you. If not, let me know. So personally, I if I could get a dupe Punisher, I would. Yeah, it's by far my most wanted from this pool. Congrats, Chris. Does Man-Thing need the awakening? No, I don't think so. Jaeger, did you answer that? I could see. Jaeger knows a lot about Man-Thing. 3 Union Crystals, all I Hulk. Spectre makes him crazy. I think I would have a lot of fun with I Hulk, Mr. B. So I'm not upset about that pool. I just really want Pun 99. How much defense value do you think Pun 99? I think he has a fair amount. I think we have him. Let me pull it up because I don't want to just talk out of my ass. I'm going to pull up we've done the August Battlegrounds tier list. That won't come out. That's not scheduled to come out till Monday, the 26th. We actually have Pun 2099 currently listed as a dual threat. That's a little bit me pushing, to be honest. Some of the Illuminati's like, hey, you're rating him a little higher than I think I would right out the gate. I think he has enough defensive. You can plop him in there, especially the metas where like he's going to get power back, right? Because like who can evade the specials? So is it called like kinetic transference or something like that? I think there's enough. I don't think he's going to be someone that you draft thinking, ooh, cool, I got a defender. I think you're going to be like, cool, I've got an offensive champion. Then as the draft plays out or the actual match plays out, someone who you could say like, okay, I'm going to place him on defense. They're going to buy me enough time. Competitive rank, whatever level you're playing at, where I can take advantage of it, place them on defense. Chris is kind of answering that question there in the chat too, about the stat focus with the block pen and all that. 7-star hood, good? Absolutely, they're good. They're absolutely good. They're absolutely good. I will be very happy with that pool. Jaeger saying, I don't think Man-Thing needs the awakening. It's definitely nice, but I wouldn't dupe him from the Selector. So there you go. Or 7 skills. I think P99 WAGs are the ones that need the awakening. Yeah, I think I think honestly Wagnito probably needs it the most if you're going to use him in competitive content. Still, you could, right? You could. I always like to say, like, you could drive a car with your feet if you wanted to. It doesn't make it a good idea. And yes, I completely got that from Chris Rock. What's up, Messiah? Thanks for being here, bud. All right. So I think that's a good coverage of the reunion crystal. Whew. Let's move on to Bullseye. Now, full forthright, guys, I am not a Bullseye expert. I am not. I've come a long way. But what I want to address and what we're going to talk about today is something that I believe I understood the essence of what Faith Through Fire was getting at. And it is basically, how does this, I always want to call it terminal velocity. That's not what it's called. I think it's called Killer Instinct. Who's the champion in our game that has terminal velocity? There is someone who's got it. And I can't think of who it is. You guys, whoever gets that first, I will totally give you you get an A check plus. Quicksilver. Let's see. Balenci was first. A check plus circle star square for Balenci. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Quicksilver. I actually really like playing Quicksilver. I can't believe I couldn't remember that. Balenci, we're going to at least pin that, buddy. We got to at least pin that. You're the star of the show. All right. So, Bullseye and his whole, where the hell is this thing, man? Where is this thing? There it is, Killer Instinct. Okay, so when he gains a bar of power, he's going to get this non-stacking Killer Instinct passive for 3 seconds. It's that green thing, okay? We're going to call it the green thing from here on out. The really important part to remember. So this is positive in Bullseye specials, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. When Killer Instinct is active, Bullseye has a 100% chance to evade incoming basic attacks. purifying any stun debuff in the process, right? So if you stun him and try to attack, he's going to purify it and kill you, or yeah, for the most part. You can't shut this off with ability accuracy reduction or anything like that. Okay, cool. I got a text from my wife. Everything is good. Okay, so I struggled with this mightily, and some of you might be like, "You struggled with this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did, man. I did. It's okay. It's okay." And other views will be like, "Yeah, this is the exact problem I'm having." Let's go ahead, and I'm going to do my best to show it. Champions where you are wanting to heavy. Champions that have double hits, like who would be the easiest to show this with? I'm going to try to force the scenario. What ends up happening is your hit, your combo, causes him to go over a bar. So everything's good here, right? You're like, oh, yay, this is good. I'm going to win. I'm winning. Yay. I think we're going to do it right now, actually. I think we're going to get it. No. Okay, shoot. So there it kind of was. That wasn't the specific example, but I think it's good enough. So we're back to being good. We're going to kill him too fast. I'll come in and I'll try to do it with a 5-star AA. But essentially what you just saw, if that were to have happened while I was doing the heavy, if the heavy caused him to get that that green thing, he would still evade out of it. Here, I'll hit him once. That should fix the problem. Of course, we get, yeah, we're getting god levels of, so here it comes. No, he didn't. Is it because we killed him? Is it because we killed him? Do you guys understand what I'm trying to explain? This was a very specific question from Faith, and I felt like I understood his like, felt like I understood what he was saying. And I think it's something that I know I struggled with for a long time. So I do want to kind of cover this part of it. Do I have, where's my 5-star AA? Oh, this is 6. Because we're killing him too fast. And I think us killing him caused it not to happen. Although, yeah, you get what I'm saying. You may have even been part of the conversation. Shoot. I hit one time too many. We're going to try it one more time. So I'll do one basic hit and then heavy, and that should line it up perfectly. So, I mean, another takeaway is don't do that. Let's try to do this one more time. And the irony is I'm trying my best to fabricate this scenario, and yet when you fight Bullseye, it feels like it happens all the time. It doesn't obviously happen all the time, but you do end up in this situation frequently. And because you want to get the fight over with, this is similar to Dust, where like if you're a little more patient and slow down, you'll be better off, but damn is it hard to do that. There, that was it. Perfectly right there. So that's one of the challenges built into Bullseye, and it's frustrating as hell. But honestly, I think the designer did a good job. Like he's trying to get you to take your time. He's trying to make you feel like you've got this assassin who's basically tracking you down, and you feel that pressure. So what you need to do is you need to push Bullseye over without that double hit, and I'm shouting out Trappy. You guys know I shout people out if I think they're doing good stuff and I've seen it. I'm going to shout it out. I've linked Trappy's video, and one of the ways I learned to get a little bit better at fighting Bullseye, and it's a video with Sunspot. You can use your striker a little bit. So here, we'll try to redo that. It's just really hard to completely... manufacture. I don't mean fabricate. Manufacture is the word I've been looking for. It's a little hard to completely manufacture these scenarios on demand. They're more just like what pops up. I don't have a striker on my 5-star AA, so let's go ahead and see if I can do this with my 6-star. Because remember, the stun off the striker is not a true stun, right? And because this isn't BGs, we're not going to get there. Crap, I don't know how I'm going to show this to you guys. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to be able to show you guys this, and I apologize. Does anyone does anyone have like questions about what I'm trying to show here? But it's that moment where your combo is going to push him over. If you have True Strike, so like what R7 skills is saying, if you have True Strike, right? So like that's why like an Odin is starting to be like considered a decent counter. It's why that node, that Battlegrounds node, where you could get the True Strike from intercepting. That's why people were taking out Bullseye a little more easily there, was because you could more easily push him to a special 2. You could make the fight a little faster or something like that. Not seen a lot of chatter on this, so I feel like you guys get it. And that's cool. That's all I'm shooting for here. I'm not going to be making like a separate video on this or anything like that. This is just more like the question came up. I saw a conversation on it. I also really like Faith a lot. So I wanted to kind of answer this. Oh, you know the other champion that this kind of comes up on, and you'll see people use Onslaught. And this used to trip me up all the time, and it'll probably trip me up now, actually. See if I can do it with the 6-star. I don't have the striker on. Remember, Onslaught replaces the parry stun if it is purified or whatever. So I think we're getting there. So let's see, I'm going to try to repair here. That was weird. That did not go the way I thought it was going to go. Why is that not going how I thought it would go? It didn't look like Bullseye tried to purify that. The error, anyways, the important, the most relevant part is the error that can be made is you need Bullseye to try to purify the parry stun. If he doesn't do that, Onslaught can't turn it into a passive. So you just need to be aware of that interaction. It's hard to explain. There was a BG meta that kind of messed with that a little bit. That was working. That's how it's supposed to work. It doesn't. But it didn't get rid of Bullseye's killer instinct. Like, it didn't look like Bullseye tried to trigger it. It didn't start to come off cooldown. Well, that's what tripped me up a little bit. Again, really smart players in the chat here, guys. So pay attention to what they're saying. We'll try it one more time. That wasn't what I was expecting it to do. I was expecting the terminal velocity to come to go onto cooldown. Oh, here, this is what I wanted to show. So right there, that's the other thing I wanted to show. That was another example of what we were talking about earlier. And I realize a lot of you probably get this, but I know I struggled with it in the beginning, so some of you might. Is that heavy caused Bullseye to get the killer instinct. And so therefore, there was no stun for Onslaught to turn into a passive, right? So if you end up in that scenario, you need to make sure you get Bullseye into that terminal velocity, get him over bar power, then parry him, then the passive stun will kick in. Okay, cool. I think we're all saying the same thing now. And I appreciate, all of you guys, Jaeger, Akbar, our 7 skills. I appreciate you guys, like, explaining this really well to everybody. Thank you. That's really awesome. Okay, I think we've got Bullseye. It seems to me like everyone in the chat, it feels very, very comfortable with this concept. I wanted to make sure it was clear to everyone. It's going to help you a lot in your fighting if that was one of the problems you're making. I know sometimes I still make that mistake too. Yeah, you're right, Chris. I'm just going to misspeak, but I'm glad you understand what I'm saying. And thank you for being the confused Vega translator. All right, so we're done with that. We're going to talk very quickly about Silver Sable, and then we'll move on to some, maybe some, I'll let you guys decide if you guys want to do some BGs or you want to do the side quest kind of fight Enchantress. So now we're going to move on to Silver Sable. And this one's going to be pretty quick and simple, guys. With Silver Sable, I know I believe, I agree, I feel strongly that she is a total outlier for 2024 champions. Okay. I just do. Like in all seriousness, I don't think she's very good by today's standards. 3 years ago, she probably would have been pretty damn good. I know very smart players who actually get really good damage results out of her. I also know and I agree that like when you're pulling her from a Titan crystal, it is like a swift kick to the nuts. Like it just is. And because you're like, not only is that not who I wanted, but she's the worst out of the group, right? And I will address this very quickly because I have seen this come up. I have a very rational viewer base. Okay? But I've seen this come up a few times, is this idea of like, how they even let her get out the gate? Like, how did she even get into the game? And obviously, I'm not in the room. I wasn't part of the decision-making process. I'm not on the design team. I'm not on the balance team. I'm not on any of that stuff. I know you know that, but I want to set the table for this discussion. I've worked on teams. I've worked on teams that have deadlines. I run a business. Sometimes you got to push stuff out the door. And you're going through and you did the testing and you're like, this isn't necessarily where we wanted it, but we got to get it out. I would imagine that is a likely scenario, or it is a possible explanation. I think the other one is maybe that's just what they wanted. Maybe they thought this would work out better, right? Like we see all the ratings and things like that come with champions. Like think about Werewolf. Okay. I think this is an example of, they obviously tested Werewolf. They obviously did, right? But he came out way better offensively than I think they realized he was going to. And then I thought it was really cool that they didn't tune him down. I actually really thought that was cool. I thought that was a pretty pro player move because we got a champion who was much stronger offensively than I believe they intended for him to be. And I think this is just the really crappy other side of that exact same coin. It's like sometimes a champion is going to come out worse than they intended. And then they should rebalance her up. I think one of the problems with her in specific is it feels like her damage source in, I think it's Shock, right? Not great for Photon and Thing, who it seems like she was maybe targeted for. So there may have been one of those things where like the initial mission, and then therefore everything's built off that platform, that initial spirit, those initial goals. If the initial goal is already a little shaky, let's call it, you can end up in this scenario where it's like, oh no, this champion does good damage. Oh, cool. They're pretty fluid to play. Oh, fun concept. Wait, thanks for bringing that into the game. But then the players actually get it and have to play them in the environment of the game. And it's like, this isn't what we wanted. In a weird way, if you analogize it to, if you're going to hire someone to do work on your house, are you going to hire like the professor in college who everything is theory? Or are you going to hire the person who maybe doesn't have the advanced degrees of the professor, but they've been building and working on houses for 10 years? I know me, I'm going to hire the person who's been working on houses for 10 years and has been like, experienced it in the trenches, getting dirty, getting their hands going and getting that experience. So I think there just might be all of those things coming together. I don't know. That's just my theory. That's my guess from running a business, having watched this game for a long time, and my very, very tiny, I know I like to joke about it, but my very, very small, man, I just set myself up for a bad joke there. Very, very small experience and glimpse of window into the champion creation process with DLL, right? Like he had these big goals that he started with, and then just watching him work through it. And I think if those goals had been a little off to begin with, even if all his logic was great along the way, and he did a great job of designing that, if the goals weren't something that once you got into the ecosystem of the game was good, then the champion itself would be a quote unquote miss, as we like to call them as players. And I think all of that stuff is likely an explanation for Silver Sable. Doesn't make Puliner feel good. That's why I've made the joke, and so far it's protected me. You know, before every Titan, I'm like, Silver Sable, Silver Sable, you can't hurt me, right? And it's been fun, and I'm trying my best to kind of empathetically laugh or be a shoulder to cry on. So that's my my thoughts on Silver Sable. Okay, I see a little bit of the chat, and then we'll move on to something here. I'll create a poll. We'll create a poll here. I'll read the chat a little bit. And if you disagree with what I said, man, you guys know me. You can disagree with me. I don't want people to argue with me just for the sake of arguing with me. But if someone has a good point or they feel strongly about what they're saying, I love constructive criticism. I love it. It's the best way to learn, man. Even if I end up disagreeing with you, I at least get a sense of what other people are thinking. I'm trying to see. I think I may have gotten through. Yeah, cool. They let me run the poll. All right, let's see what y'all are saying. Let's see what y'all are saying. I pulled Sable from 20% of all Titan crystals. I'm sorry. Knowing why something happened, right, for me can help me feel a little bit better about it, but it doesn't make me be like, yay, I'm so happy now. Dab, what's up, buddy? Thanks for being here. Ew. Didn't Vega help the design of Kushala? It seems like he is on the design team. Oh, I'm basically the lead designer, Stink. Yeah, they don't want to officially come out and say it, you know? But I mean, I'm just like Mr. Dev, basically. That's like the inside code name all the Kabam guys have for me. They just call me Mr. Dev with a capital V, obviously. In case anyone doesn't pick up on sarcasm, I am completely kidding. Kate says hi with 2 offensive rate. Yeah. Narion. Dude, I never picked up on your last name, bud. Sorry, I'm going to explain that very quickly. I've had a lot of friends and meaningful people in my life who are Armenian. I realize you might not necessarily be Armenian, but that's a typical ending of an Armenian name. And so it just kind of caught my eye. And so it's a positive for me. And hello. Sable's fun, but the flow needs work. Yeah, I think so. I do think there's a little bit with her trap and all that stuff. Again, like living in the ecosystem of the game. Like my concept, my analogy being the professor versus the person building the houses, you know, that sort of thing. In most of the situations, the groundwork for champ is bad. No buff can make her better. Yeah, so I agree. And I think that's something that's just going to be on the balance team and their human hours, right? Like hopefully you saw my video on Enchantress, why she concerned me. The character I'm playing in game right now, I'm having a lot of fun. And even if I end up having a lot of fun with her, that doesn't actually undermine a lot of what my concerns were with her. And I don't think we have like the 8 hours for me to get out charts and graphs and go through the semantics, all of that. But I hope you all understand that. Because there's the business aspect of we've got limited capital of only so many human hours. How are we most efficiently, and you know, let's try to have a good time, make it something that our players are enjoying, right? And want to spend their time and energy and money and hard-earned real life resources on. And so that's going to be tough. Like you could have something be a massive hit, but if it took up like, and again, I am not saying this about Silver Sable, I'm just doing the analogy to help the conversation. If it took up 90% of your human capital, and you got this one cool hit, like, yay, we got this great champion. What about all the rest of the crap going on in the game? Who cares? That's not how it works, right? Because players play the whole game. Can I try Rogue versus Servant? I don't know if we'll do that today. Because that's interesting. I was definitely that meme right now where no words came out, but I was like, no. Oh, maybe. I think so. Okay, I don't agree that Sable bigger numbers would make her flow work at all. There's just champions don't have great flow, too, right? Like, I don't think Silver Sable is going to get buffed and become the new Kate Bishop. I'm seeing LOLs. I don't know if you guys are laughing about something I said or someone else said. Because it's far enough in the chat. Mr. Dev. Okay, I think that's why. Closet designer? Does that mean I'm in the closet or does that mean I design closets? Either way, not actually true. I kind of like the trap play style. I know people who really enjoy it. And sometimes there's just going to be champions like that, right? Like, I don't know if Enchantress will end up being a champion I play, but it does make me happy to see people enjoying her. And I think the game's gotten to that point. There's so many champions and they're trying to bring in so many different types of players and things like that. I do think it's cool that the design team fills the space to take chances and try shit, right? Because if not, we're just going to end up with the same champion over and over and over, and we'll all get really, really bored. It sucks when you then pull them from the Titan Crystal, if that's the one you didn't like, but that's RNG and Kabam's job to balance all that stuff out. And I don't mean balance design. I mean, like, make sure they're pulling the right levers on our players having fun, even when RNG doesn't go their way. Do I think they'll rebalance Deathless Vision? Probably not. I actually don't think he's bad. They might, but I don't think he's bad. And I look at what I think were their targets, and I think they hit him. I think he's actually pretty good. Well, yeah. I don't mind sharing this. Big spoiler. Wow. Tomorrow's tier list, he's actually rated one spot above Viv Vision for me. And I know you Viv Vision players out there are like, you crazy, I hate you. Thumb down. All the thumbs down now. But I've spoken at length about Viv Vision. I do think she's very powerful. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. I actually think that's a pretty good space. Now you wish I actually was a champion. No, man, trust me, I would design the worst freaking champions. And her Duke is her bust, which is so funny to me. So she basically can't do mystics. I mean, yeah, I hear you, buddy. Pablo's literally saying that. There's your real world example of what you just said, Dad. R7, you think you memorize all of Enchantress's spells? Jeez, you're good at this. Did you make flashcards? Most of the rebalance you see in numbers update. Gladiator's an exception. So, like, again, going back to, and we will start playing the game again here in a few minutes. I'm just letting the poll run a little bit longer. And I think you all are making really cool points and comments. I'm going to go back to that. Narian, with the Gladiator is an exception. I do think Gladiator is an exception. As you go back to the human capital, right? Like, how many people are on the balance team? I don't know. Can't be that many, I wouldn't think. And I imagine they're balancing more than just, like, champions. I don't know. Again, I don't know. But if they're going to have to do that for Gladiator, that's taking their attention away from, I would imagine, new champions coming out. Metas that they're creating and all this stuff. So it goes back to that point of, like, if a single champion is taking up so much of your time, what's falling through the cracks, or what's causing people to stay up till midnight or 1 a.m. and then get up at 5 a.m. to do their work? That I don't know. And we shouldn't know that. We shouldn't know that. That's Kabam's business, not ours. But it is something that we're going to talk about, you know? And it's something that we play the game that they're creating. Kabam still hasn't implemented wish crystals. I don't think we're ever getting them, man. I know that was a thing, but we ain't getting them, dude. I think our what are they called? The Nexus crystals is as close as we're gonna get. Zode, what's up, bud? Zode and Dab. Doesn't shock me you two would have that relationship. 30k crystals? Why are we talking about 30k crystals? Why are we talking about 30ks? What's going on, Cue Ball? All right, let's end this poll. Yeah, I should have known. You guys didn't. Did you even read the poll, or did you guys just vote for arse? Because you guys are like, we want arse. You're like, who cares what the question is? The answer is definitely arse. All right, we'll go get our butt kicked by Enchantress. I think I did say that is what we would do. So here, SQ And we will start that at 1:35. I do need to warn you, though, that no animals will be harmed in this side quest. Many Vegas will. Many items will be used, and the violence you're about to see come on me is all real. Okay. Why are we talking about it? Was there like an offer that came in game or something? Or you guys were talking about wish crystals and stuff like that? Fill me in on the details. I think we're just going to want a bunch of science champions, right? Ooh, I mean, spoiler, I took this guy to rank 5 and sent him. I love playing him. I really love playing him. It's as simple as that. It's a fact, and I'm not embarrassed to admit it. I am not embarrassed to admit it. Now that I don't play Quicksilver that often, I'm experiencing why so many of you on my Quicksilver videos would talk about why you did not enjoy him with the combo and all that stuff. Because I'm just not playing him that much these days. And so I am missing combos and making mistakes that one does when they're not. Where the hell's my Luke Cage? Oh, is he not? Is he not? Well, that stinks. All right, I guess we're going to see me get my ass kicked with Quicksilver. I have 30,000 crystals? Boo Pole. What's up, average Adam? I have 30k crystals? What are you talking about? Oh, got it. Yeah, man. I can't open up all this stuff. Like, it would take forever. Like, it would take me forever. And I don't have forever. That's a mighty long time. Like, one person who was paying attention was maybe like, I like Prince too. Okay. What is this node again? What happens? Debust, whittle down, yada, yada, yada. All right. You can open them for me? Am I allowed to do that? If I don't pay you to do that, would that be against Kabam's rules of terms of service? I don't know. I think we got to be a lot more sly about it, though, because you know Kabam, they are always watching. They are always watching. Oh, and for those of you watching at home and being like, Vega took a Spider-Man to rank 2. I am not trying to tell you that I think this is an amazing or phenomenal champion. I do think he might be a little bit better than he gets credit for, though. And I want to take him to rank 2 because it's Spider-Man. I mean, like, I want to play Spider-Man. And I'm curious with his debilitate and all that stuff, if we start seeing a use for him against Enchantress. And I was kidding, you know me, I like to joke on serious topics. She is going to kick my ass. But I wonder if once I kind of get used to her animations and playing her, if he actually ends up being pretty good. I'm kind of thinking that way. So, but do not see him at rank 2 and take that as an endorsement of you taking him to rank 2. What is this? You want to like heavy and stuff, right? Cool. He's better for the silver shit. Now that's the truth. Get it all out. Let's do this. What's that movie called? Like The Purge or something? Make the next like 10 minutes or your opportunity to be like, we're gonna get it all out. All of it. Get out all the silver Sable inks. What just happened? Don't I have a slow up? There's me and what I was talking about. Like, I just don't play Quicksilver enough anymore. So I'm making mistakes with him all the time now. All the time. Reed works amazing for the first 3 fights, but not so much with Enchantress. Intercept to refresh the passive whiplash, and then special to place on the defender. Intercept, then special. Thank you. All right, let's use Spider-Man, man. Let's use Spider-Man. That was weird, though. At least it felt weird. When I'm streaming, I often miss stuff, though, so it's not shocking. How will Spidey's decelerate work here? Spidey has one of those like kits that is like relatively simple. It confuses me for some reason. I don't know how to read it. Spidey's hitting like a truck. What's the health pool on these guys? Did Rintra just evade me? Was that just a weird graphics interaction between the two of them? Because it really felt like I intercepted Rintra and he evaded, but I didn't see the evade shout out or call out. 22, okay, 25% damage with whiplash. Okay. It did feel like Spidey was doing some meaningful damage off the SP1, which I don't think he's supposed to do, though. He had falter? Okay, so he intercepted me and missed. So you decelerate will essentially slow the opponent down. Yeah, this team is a cook. Which team? These are the science all-stars, man. Is that what you mean? I actually think Quicksilver, I have him as a second tier. He's got so much utility, dude. If you know how to play him well, you can get a lot out of him. And I think Overseer's great, man. I really do. Spidey... Isn't his decelerate is percentile based, right? Where is it? Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's and I believe the decelerate is flat, right? So once you get 2 of those up, it's unstoppable and evade. Yeah, I got you, Chris. Thank you. I appreciate you clarifying. Not a fan of Oversight, but you do you. Hey, man, we all like different things, buddy. We all like different things. I do wonder. Hey, do you think Dab? Because I don't think you were here for this portion of the stream with Man-Thing coming into the game. Do you think you'll see Man-Thing 7-star rank 3 Man-Things in Celestial level? And if you do, will that cause you to start considering bringing counters a little bit? Just yourself? Yeah, man, I get it. You're playing the game at a very, very like kind of the pinnacle, I think, in a lot of ways, right? In war and in Battlegrounds. Okay. And what's this node? This node annoyed me. The defender's just auto block attacks. This auto block counts with a well-timed block. When the attacker performs a well-timed block, they gain a falter charge. Striking the defender's block removes 1. Okay, so basically just if I block, I gotta hit their block. If the attacker uses the same special, also use different stuff. Whatever. I don't care. If we use items, use items. I just want to go. Andrew the Rough, what's up, dude? Dude, stop being a jerk. Did not mean to do that. How do you get around the auto block? Clearly I haven't figured that out besides landing my heavy. I just want to kill this guy. I'm getting tired of this. I'm not enjoying dancing with MCoC. And he's like, I am enjoying dancing with you. Come on, dude. Let's go. We get it. See, Deb, I don't know what you mean, man. Spidey's awesome, dude. Look at this. How can you deny the power of this right here, man? Look at this. And he can take a hit. He's tanky. Like, what more could you want in a champion, man? Tanky, puts on a good show. Andrew, you getting the meta down, man? You ready for Saturday? I was watching your stream for quite a long time yesterday. I was lurking for most of it because I was trying to get a lot of work done and stuff. So I appreciate you even running the little promo and bringing up the forum post that Crash did and stuff. That was cool, man. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun on Saturday. Yes, sir. Nice, dude. Nice. And oh yeah, you saw the dude. So I'm looking for sponsors, right, for VBC, and I think everyone knows, but if you don't, that's I'm calling VBC Vega Battlegrounds Championships. VBC takes a lot less time to say, and so this is gonna be number 5. We're moving to more of like a UFC or boxing style. So it's gonna be a single championship match every month. First one's going to be Fintech, who has been crowned the VBC champion after winning 3 of the 4 tournaments, and going up against Andrew, definitely a worthy #1 ranked challenger. And then the winner will be the champion. And Barrowman has actually already agreed to face the new champion, or if Finn wins, continued champion in September. So I'm pumped up for that. So I was looking for sponsors, and I looked at Yusuf because he sponsored a lot of the tournaments. And I was like, hey, bud, I'm looking for sponsors. Here's the way we're doing it. He's like, yeah, what do you need? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, what do you want? And I was like, well, end goal is to show this commercial free to everybody, but I would need this level of sponsorship. And he's like, done. I was like, okay. And he's like, no, I love them. I love the 2 competitors. I love the idea of showing it, getting more people excited about the game, love the community. Yeah, I mean, literally everything he said, I was like, you're such a good person. And very cool. He's willing to do it. 3-minute showcase of Spidey. Put that video. Yeah, man. Spider-Man slow melt MCoC. Showing off the taunt. Showing off the heavy reach. Showing off inequity at its best. Pinky boy. And yes, I am just buying time because I'm about to get my ass kicked. DJR, what? You missed a piece after both units? Oh, for Deathless, one of the Deathless champion, probably? Where can you watch it? So I would love it if you watch it on my channel, and then if you have the ability to do this, please also go live to see Andrew's side of it and Fintech's. I'll be live streaming both of their streams. And then if Spanish is your preferred language, or you just want to hear Pepe, do it, because Pepe is awesome. Pepe is an official broadcast partner. And he agreed to show my stream basically and do it all in Spanish for everybody. And I know that I do enjoy watching soccer or football for the rest of the world. And I will often, even though I'm not very good at Spanish, I'm far from fluent, I will often watch broadcasts in Spanish because I do find it more entertaining. So if that's you, man, go watch Pepe. I just want people to watch it. I want people to see people like Andrew and Finn just doing stuff that the rest of us were like, oh, I did not know that was possible. Play-by-play? Yes, Average Adam. I'll be doing play-by-play with Daddy Longlegs, and there is a small chance, we'll see if he is fully available, that none other than Karate Mike will join. I thought they did such a phenomenal job up at Battle Room Brawl that I asked them both to come and do live play-by-play action, all their knowledge, all that stuff. And I'll honestly, if there's no role for me to play in that stream, I'm happy for it. I just want to put this on, and I want to see competition, and I want to see friendly competition, and I want you all to experience it and just put on a big show for everybody. So, and I'll get to do plenty of talking with my interview with Crash. All right, so here we go. They did us a really nice favor of their nodes don't really add on too much to Enchantress. I have the breakdown. I just don't remember it right now. But essentially, the green spell is like the chance to miss. I'll let you all coach me through this as best as we can. I never said that I knew how to fight her. This is definitely learning to fight. Dust, I knew how to fight. Bullseye, a little bit. Enchantress, I suck. And that's okay. That's okay. My mama said I'm special, and she would never lie to me. All right, here we go. Okay, so one of the things I did learn from getting my butt kicked yesterday was that a miss counter felt really, really nice, but I talked with DLL and I rewatched his video. And so that was too late on that. I am trying to punish her heavy. Okay, that actually was not bad. I see why some of you are like, she's not bad, man. We'll have to talk this through later, because I am not. Okay, so this is the knockdown one, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'll explain later what I'm doing. That damn miss, man. I'm gonna try to create a little space here. Obviously getting the evades down would be really helpful. I can't remember if purple is knockdown or intercept, so that's not helping me right now. It's obviously not intercept. Mistimed the parry, so I didn't know that parry was going to land. And then I let her special intercept me. Do not do that. Let that be a lesson for all of you. That's the only reason why I did that, is I want you guys to learn. I thought I landed the intercept, but her purple spells didn't go away. So after this fight, we'll talk about why. I clearly have it wrong. Oh no, wait, they did go away. Or maybe it was knocked down with a special. Yeah, it's knocked down. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm gonna see if I can just parry her here and try to end this. So no joke, I'm actually big picture really pleased with that. Personally I'm pleased because I feel like I learned a lot. There's literally almost no node helping her there except for the resistances there, which is obviously minimizing the Overseer's damage, but I wasn't even trying to play Overseer correctly. Like I wasn't trying to build up his gamma and get into his mode and light attack. I was just purely trying to play Enchantress's game, which is my understanding is what she's designed to do as a defender. I'll read your guys' comments here a little bit. Spell removal. Okay, so anyone watching this on playback, I'm going to kind of read through the chat. Anyway, so spell removal, green spell, interrupt heavy. We'll come back to that because you guys saw me do a couple different things there on that. Orange spell is intercept. I didn't catch on to that till the very end, but once I did, that wasn't so bad. Purple spell, knockdown. You saw me make the mistake, and then the SB3, the knockdown, so that did. Alberto, what's up, buddy? Ruin and destroyed this Enchantress. Oh, because of all the buffs. That makes sense. That's kind of funny, actually. Intercept was tough. That's what I was thinking. Is I think her on power gain nodes is going to be absolutely brutal. I'm getting pretty lucky with the spell combos too. Hey man, I'm a lucky man, my friend. I'm a lucky man. Mike, what's up, buddy? Good luck to you all. Top tier alliances fighting her. That's what I was just thinking. Okay, so orange intercept, purple knockdown. I just know green is the heavy punch. That's the one I really know. FYI, you can pause the game to look up what you need to do. Oh, that's right. You can do that. That's not just an offensive ability. That's a defensive one. Where are the items? I know, stink. I said that many Vegas would be harmed in the making of this film, and here I still stand before you. I am nothing but a disappointment. Enchantress is toxic. I hope she gets slightly nerfed. So I think this is going to be an interesting William because with very little practice, I just soloed her. Now that's a rank 2 Overseer. As Akbar pointed out, I got a little bit lucky with the spells. A little bit. He overdid it. Don't try to take credit away from me and my skill set, Akbar. The heavy there, though, is what I kind of want to point out, and I brought this up on my Discord server last night, was after fighting her a few times, I started to wonder if having a miss counter like Photon, whose initial medium can't miss, might be best. And I think it's going to be a fight in node sort of scenario, right? Because if you try to punish the in-between part of her heavy, that like gap that's present, and you miss, it really sucks. But, and I remember DL calling this out, and just full transparency, he and I had reason to talk yesterday, and he reminded me of it, is you can actually punish the end of her heavy. You need to get the timing right and stuff. And so I actually moved to trying to get the end of her heavy punish right. She's not dashing forward, so she won't be unstoppable. I think she might be the kind of defender that I really like, which is this like interesting puzzle that's hard on their own. Things can go wrong. Any champion can kind of take them, but there's counters who are hard counters or better than others. And,
that's what we're talking about.
Oh, hey, what's up? I do see that. I think I have a couple messages from you. I have not read them, so if they're relevant.
Oh, no worries.
Okay. But let me finish this off. Right? Is that, and I think nodes and things can make her significantly harder. The problem is, this isn't, in my opinion, this is all just my opinion, guys. This is not a, like, you know, I grew up in the days where you spent your $40. Yes, in my day, it was like $40. And you bought the cartridge and you took it home and you played it. And this isn't that kind of game. You know, it's a different model. And so I can see why there's other sorts of defenders that accentuate your desire and need to bring in a more quote unquote hard counter, for lack of a better term. So I get it. But right now, after that, I'm like, okay, I see it. I see you, Enchantress. I see that you could be really difficult. But through a little bit of luck and a little bit of not being too bad at the game, we got her down. And it was enjoyable. That's kind of where I'm at. I just, in case you're I don't know if you've been watching, I was able to solo Enchantress. It wasn't pretty, but we got it down with a rank 2 Overseer with no relic. And I definitely practiced what you and I talked about last night, where I started punishing her heavy at the end of it, not trying to interrupt it. So
right.
Yeah. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good. Yeah, just cleaning up champ work.
I'm sorry, what?
Just cleaning up champ work.
Ooh, can you tell us what that means, or not really?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, cool. Let's listen a little bit.
Because I know you have trouble keeping track of what's public in the CCP as well. I will say, like, I have said out loud, She-Hulk is mine, but she's also pretty much locked, so this is the next one.
And just to, because I know some people are like, She-Hulk? Deathless She-Hulk, right?
Right.
Cool. And yes, I do have trouble keeping track of what I'm allowed to say and not. It feels basically, that's essentially how marriage feels. Just kidding. It is not actually true. Okay, so let's read the chat. Andrew's saying, to be honest, Enchantress could use a slight buff. Needs to be tankier. And Andrew, in all seriousness, I've seen footage and videos of Legacy put it out on his with Spot destroying her. Spot, though, is capable of some. Like, that might be. That might not apply to what I'm about to say, because that's Legacy, so outrageously skilled player, and 2, that's kind of like what Spot does, and he is at least a science champion. The ones that I saw that I was like, was CGR and Silk. And so I don't know the solution, but I did think that was interesting. So I wonder about her being a little tankier somehow. And DLL, that's not a question for you. If you want to chime in for it, but that's not intended.
The only thing I will say on that topic is that making her significantly tankier on defense is something that has to be done very carefully so that her offensive kit doesn't get too much safer.
Making her Yeah, I could see that. We again, myself and the Illuminati guys, because we're rating her, and actually we're coming out really high. Like I'm actually uncomfortable with how high she is on the tier list.
Right.
But going through it, it was like, no, this literally all makes sense. It literally all makes sense. I think she's just really unique, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, guys, I'm just gonna say it because I didn't know if DLL would be able to tune in today or not. And I see all of you all are well behaved, as I said earlier. And I know everyone, if you're a smart YouTuber, you're like, I've got the best audience. Y'all are the smartest, best looking people ever in the world, you know? And I want to be clear, I'm not actually doing that. I actually believe, because I spend time in other people's streams and stuff, I have a really rational audience. I have a very rational viewer base. And so I'm still going to say this. I know you guys don't need to hear this, but I'm going to say it, is just remember, DL is here to hang out with his friend. That's me, by the way. And with all of you. And maybe answer some questions and stuff. But let's not get into the, let's treat him like a person, okay, who's here to hang out and all that. So I appreciate y'all. Just keep it chill. Keep it chill. Pablo's saying I like fighting her a lot when her Australia. She's mostly a skill ass. Yeah. To me, she's not the same as Kindred, but I currently have the same kind of like enjoyment in fighting them as Kindred, while also being like, you could kill me at any second, couldn't you? And they're like, yes, we could. You can tell that Vega's attorney completely understands the concept of confidentiality. You can tell that Stink knows it. I'm legally trained. I have a legally trained background. I'm no longer an attorney. I gave it up after he never technically was an attorney. Funny story. If you guys want to hear story time with Vega, we can. If not, no harm done. Biwi is a big hackerino. Uh-oh. Dab, are you speaking Spanish there with hackerino? You want to see DL in work mode? I joined his stream. Yeah, exactly. And still be nice to him when he's there, please. Sumi, what's up, buddy? Thanks for being here. All right. Do we want to run through that one more time, or do we want to do a couple Battlegrounds friendlies? I think let's run through that one more time, and let's just shoot the shit. If you guys do have questions for me or DLL, but keep them chill. Keep them chill. Hit us up. Oh, you know what? Yeah, DLL. And if you're like, I don't want to answer that, because I know sometimes, at least I'm of the opinion. So this is a question. I'm under the opinion that part of like designing a game is giving enough information away for the players to feel informed and to like go and discover, while also not giving so much information away that you take away the chance for discovery. Does that sound true?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. Okay, stream's over. No. So if that's accurate, I understand if you're like, no comment, or you can just be like, sorry, busy now. Is Rogue a bit of a like pseudo counter to Serpent?
In some sense, like, because her chance to crit on the power steal is separate from actually needing to crit, if I remember. So I don't think the crit resist slows that down. Like, it would make sense to a certain extent, right? Because Rogue is basically a Mystic champion with the mutant tag.
Yeah.
Like, she buff steals, she heals, she power steals. There's nothing mutant about her.
She's got a nullify and a neutralize. I'm kidding. Whoa. Wait, why didn't that special cost Dormammu any power? In case you can't tell, I have not exactly mastered the nodes of this quest.
Oh, you might need to not hit his block.
Oh yeah, concussion's bad.
Right, but it's probably that node that we built for Eternity of Pain last year that reduces the cost of specials while there's debuffs on you.
Got it. That would track with what I just experienced because
Yeah, the quest designers have been very fond of our Eternity of Pain nodes recently.
I still really do like Quicksilver. Because I'm not playing him very much, my ability to play him well has plummeted. And so as a result, I kind of see why so many people on all my Quicksilver videos would be like, that's really cool, Vega. I hate playing him. You know, like, I think he's definitely a champion you need to continue to play to get the combos right and not miss your specials and line stuff up. But if you do it, he's amazing.
Yeah, I can see that. For me, I do think it's almost entirely the combos, because I really think that the rigidity of his rotations gets overstated.
Yeah, you know me. I am probably I am not someone who typically goes in very well with like a very set plan on a fight. Like, I think this is part of why I like champions that have what I call high flow. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think I still get really good results out of him. So yeah,
I know that most of the time I make what could objectively be considered a mistake with managing him, and it just doesn't seem to matter most of the time.
Yeah. Oops. So Falter is apparently part of this node. Why am I not doing damage? Forget that question.
Oh, that's the hubris node or whatever.
Yeah. Yes. We've reached the portion of the stream where I totally don't care if I die. I mean, I'm trying to play well. I'm not going to try to die, but I just want to re-chat and talk and hang out and whatever. Hey Vega, I have you know what? Someone asked a question, a rank 3 question, and I meant to get back to it. Where is it? If that was you, if you were like, hey, should I rank up this champion or this champion to rank 3? I'm having trouble finding it. Please repeat it. It's not spamming if you repeat a question that we just haven't got to. What's up, Accelerate? How you doing, bud? Good tech rank up questions for next time. Actually, dude, Harry, DLL, are you comfortable talking about that a little bit? Because I was actually looking at the same thing, and I don't think I'm understanding the node properly. Because it felt like you need to place debuffs that aren't stuns, but I wasn't.
Oh, for the tactic?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 second. Let me hit go on this save.
Yeah. While you're doing, I'm going to look at this question. Hey, how to laugh. Hey, Vega, I have 4 carbonites whatever. What do you think would be better for BGs? Deep wounds plus assassins or inequity? Absolutely inequity. If you're running champions that really want deep wounds, maybe deep wounds, but I think just inequity in general. It's like I couldn't have, unless I want to make sure I'm not thinking of the wrong mastery.
No, you're not. Inequity's the one that it's basically an invisible weakness.
Yeah.
The thing to remember that a lot of people miss is that looks like 36, like it looks like 36%, and it is 36% less damage. But the thing to remember is that when you flip that percentage, that means that you effectively have 54% more health. It is massive.
It's so big too that like I couldn't imagine not running it. Like it's just part of my setup. It's part of my battleground setup, but it's also just part of what I run. And I mean, you saw it live in game all the time. But you'll also like I do my best to try to call it out in videos too. And it's gotten to the point where I think a lot of people have stopped because it's just assumed. But like even on Andy's stream yesterday. Dab, I don't think that was you. I think it was the other Dab was on call. And it kind of even came up and I don't even remember specifically what defender they're talking about, but they were like, I'm pretty sure this person was running inequity or they weren't running inequity. Like there was a conversation about, it's almost like a noticeable difference in how much damage you can do sometimes when you're fighting someone who's running it. And then it also helps you on the other side if you're running a champion that places a lot of debuffs. Akbar is another really high skill player. I mean, there's lots of them in the chat, but I see that Akbar has answered your question. And just in case you don't know him and all of that, it's a really good source of knowledge. Wait, there's only one. Wait, what? I don't know if you're being serious or not, Dad. This is like I see dead people moment for me. And this is actually, have we had this conversation before?
I think he is, but I'm also not the authority on this.
You're always being okay. He's joking. All right. Okay, let's get back to the action hand. Pablo, I have a question about Dust. I'm getting good results with many different rotations. Could some Dust enjoyers touch on how they play her? Yeah, if anyone in the chat has good info on that, I'm trying to think of. I know there's some really good Dust videos out there. I liked mine. It is it was a initial new champion though, so it was. I think it's good, and I think you could go and watch it for sure. I would imagine by now someone has become more of an expert. So yeah. Andrew, now you're screwing with my head now too. Now I don't know what this is. And now I'm seeing Dab say Silly Billy, and just my whole world is upside down. Fear and Low, what's up, buddy? Oh, now this is a question. I am almost.
I think this one is pretty cleanly photon as long as your silk is above a certain point.
Yeah, that's literally where I was going. If anyone in the chat feels differently, yeah, I think it's photon. Like even silk, I'm like, because Isn't she just gets the slow with like a single bullet point, right? A single.
Yeah, it's scaling minus regen rate. At Sig 20, she already accounts for the recovery mastery, so it's just how much reversal you want during her slow. Which is like fine, but it's just the slow is generally short enough. I don't personally think you're going to be using her to try and cheese that stuff anyway, and so I wouldn't give Sigs to it.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing a lot of smart players in chat are kind of instant going photon too. Fear, it wasn't you who asked the question. I feel badly that we didn't answer the question. Whatever. I'll have to get over it. But I know someone else had a rank up question. Maybe it was Fern.
Yeah, well, there was the rank up question about text for next saga.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just look for debuffs or heal blocks or both, right? Like Lady Deathstrike is very, very good at getting the tactic under control. Howard the Duck is actually insane. Red Skull, I fully expect to be banned permanently.
Why?
Deathless Vision is going to be quite good as well.
Because Red Skull has but his there's something I'm not understanding about the tactic.
It's debuffs or a heal block. So any tech champion that can just apply a heal block, like Deathless Vision, is kind of good to go.
Okay, I get it now. I guess, I'm not the best at reading these things. I did not realize. No, it's true.
No, I gotcha.
I thought it was like
it's the debuffs matter because they give you a heal block.
Oh, and I saw it, I don't remember where I saw it, but someone was asking about Shocker in relation to all that. Shocker has the ability, I think, to apply debuffs with a synergy, I think.
Right. And the synergy is with Silk, for those of you who somehow have her unbanned, but I wouldn't expect that to be super common. So it's also with, Stealth Spidey, and I want to say Vulture.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool synergy. And I don't know if you guys have kind of dove into that before with tactics, but when I saw it, I did think that was a really cool way to kind of like, I'm not saying bring synergies back, but as someone who's played the game for 10 years, it does not feel like synergies are as big of a deal as they once were. Like as far as like places to use them and things like that in the game. And so I did think that was kind of a cool little call to a synergy. Like I don't, whatever. I thought that was cool.
I mean, you can use Warlock if you really want to, because there is going to be regen, but he doesn't have a true heal block. Infection just prevents healing, and so you're not going to get the anti-miss, you're not going to get the ability power reduction. And I think it might be very frustrating to try and take down fights with Warlock through that chance to miss.
So right there, it's funny. If you guys were watching me, you know that I didn't. Well, you guys don't know where I keep chat, but I had not seen chat, and so I see Dab even saying the Shocker is kind of a weird choice, which I do agree. I think it's unusual. It's I think you can use the term weird, but I think it's really cool because I don't know. I just really like Shocker, and for whatever reason, I saw it and I immediately was like. I got to come up with a name for this crew because you guys make me laugh. Dab got me to say something kind of nasty on stream on Tuesday, and I didn't catch on to it until I was like already pretty much done with it. And I was like, okay, that was funny because it was like, it wasn't bad. It's not like, oh God, I can't believe I said that. If it got like clipped, I wouldn't be like horrified. It was generally funny. So I'm enjoying this. Okay, Hulkbuster. He doesn't have a heal block, does he? Or does he have one through a synergy? Does anyone know?
I honestly can't remember.
Yeah, this isn't meant to be quiz DLL.
No.
Because I kind of want to. I kind of want to rank all the Tony Starks. I ascended and rank 5 Superior Iron Man yesterday, and I've got resources to. R2 a 7-star, and so as a result, of course, I can't hold on to those. That would be, whew, that'd be bad, right? So I want to use them, and he does have a heal block. I think it's also through a synergy. Where the hell is it? No, maybe he doesn't. Maybe I'm confusing him with Ultron.
I think that might be it. Because Ultron does have access through a synergy.
Well, I guess he's got his armor breaks.
Yeah, he has debuffs. And he's got the shocks.
I don't think I finished my thought. Anyways, I thought it would be fun to at least take all of the Tony Starks up. Not necessarily to rank 3, because my Iron Man OG isn't awakened yet. But I did think that'd be kind of fun, because I like Tony Stark. Thanks, Jason. That's exactly what I was thinking. I realized it's on the Ultron side. So, this is a good question. How do dude, I mean, I think America Chavez for sure. I mean it when I say I think she's the most relevant 7-star Mystic champion in the game. I love Werewolf. I really do. And he's unique, and I think he's got a great role. But I think you're rarely in a place where you kind of need what Werewolf does. And I think you're often in places where you need what America does, and America does a whole bunch of other stuff too. Just in a vacuum. We have her more highly rated. That's just, in fact, let's ask the same question from the group, from the chat, or if DL, if you're available to kind of answer that. So it's not just my biased opinion.
No, a refresh does not count as a new debuff activating. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't really have strong opinions between Werewolf and Chavez. They're both very, very good. I see that as kind of coming down to preference. Like, they both can work on defense. They both have plenty of counters on defense. I would reach for both of them on offense first.
Okay, everything I said earlier, I was wrong. I hate her. I'm still kidding.
Blocking the last hit of that special one hurts quickly.
Well, I also made a huge mistake in twice messing up the punish of the heavy. So that was a cascading waterfall of mistakes. Well, that fight went well. It did. Enchantress is getting her money back. She's like, "You took my lunch money last one. You're not going to do that again, kid."
How to left, there was a request to use different science champions specifically to try things out. Punish after one hit of her heavy? I don't think that's good advice. You generally want to, if she has the etherealness and you don't have a miss counter, you want to punish at the very end, not in the middle.
One thing that's kind of funny about this node is, obviously once you get it, you're fine. But I'm at moments having a little trouble distinguishing between her spells and the resistances.
Mm-hmm.
But she's being a big meanie, dude. Oh my god, she's being a meanie. She is just being mean. I thought I was nailing those, but I messed that one up. Oh, okay. I kind of forgot about how she worked, and I also gave up the idea of trying to get her all down. I just wanted to kind of get more used to her. I actually kind of like Quicksilver for her.
He's very good.
Yeah, because his slow was I just getting lucky with the spells, but I felt like I wasn't having to worry about her unstoppable at all. Because his slow will take care of her unstoppable, right?
Yep.
And then he can't miss when he's got his slow up.
He can't miss when he has 300 momentum, which I know is the same trigger for the slow, but it's important because he will keep the miss counter if the slow gets purified.
I realize how weird it's about to sound to everybody that I'm about to ask you this question, but are you sure?
Yes.
Really? I have never understood that.
Although on that note, I'll check the code right now.
No, I mean, that's what it says. That's literally what it says. I've just always thought that it was the slow needed to be on. I don't know if I've ever tested that. Yeah, I mean, it very clearly says at 300 charges, Quicksilver cannot miss. Next kind of claws and inflicts a slow. I don't know if claws is the right word, but it's really like
it's literally looking for the low, for like the momentum icons themselves.
The other cool thing about that is, because what I was going to say is, on a node that is removing debuffs, he's not going to be that great. It'll still remove the slow portion, but the can't miss portion's still there. And you've got the withers. He's actually a really good counter for her, isn't he?
Yeah. Like, you can't reverse her power, because she has those floors on combat and ability power rate. But aside from that, like, you can reduce it.
Hey, what's up, Adamantium? Is it bad to block second to last hit at SV1?
Nope, just the last hit.
So what's weird is I feel like I'm getting the evade relatively well, and I'm not totally sure why. Like, I need to, like, it won't be today, but I'm going to duel her a bunch of times and kind of figure out why I'm doing okay on the evade. Can't even follow Lord of Thunder Andrew right now, so I'm not going to try. Stream on lunch break is nice. Nice, Adam. We're going to continue to try to do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Although I think often I'll probably be, knowing your time zone, we'll probably be done by the time your lunch break starts. We'll see. We'll see. It's not going to be the exact same time every day or every Tuesday and Thursday.
On that note, I actually am going to go run and make food. If you're still here when I get back, I'll hit you up.
Cool. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah. Take care, everyone. That was supposed to be the word everyone. Later.
We got the point. Okay, obviously I didn't get that part. She was like, oh, you think you have the evade down, do you? I'll show you who's got the evade down, she says. Hey, Misty, what's up? You're thinking of duping Man-Thing? Um, uh, Mike, we talked about this at length in this one. I I want Pun 99 by far the most out of all of them. I think they're all good. I think they all have uses. I would want my Punisher 29 duped. So it sounds to me like you don't have the ability to do that as well. So I could see the reasoning for wanting the Man Thing, but the Man Thing dupe. I don't know. I may end up with your exact scenario, and I'm not sure what I will do. As of right now, I do have Man Thing. I don't have Pun 99 unless I get it really lucky in these last few crystals. Then I'm going to end up with just, best of my knowledge, just one chance, and I'll have to make that same decision. I don't think I'm going. I had like so many mystics. I don't think I'm going to take Man Thing up to rank 3 because he'd primarily be doing it for Battlegrounds defense, which I do think makes a lot of sense. But I don't like overly enjoy Man Thing. I have so many mystics I want to rank up. So I'll probably, I don't know. I think what I'll probably do is take the Pun 99. This question's making me face a reality that I'm hoping doesn't happen, but I realize it probably will. Pun 99 is still really good. I've shouted out it a couple times, but hopefully you're familiar with Trappy's channel. He did a great showcase of Pun 99 unduped. Really good champion, man. And not just for Battlegrounds. So check that out. There's actually a Trappy video linked in the description of this one, in case you don't know his channel. And you can go. You can obviously go to the channel and subscribe and find the Pun 99 one. So, BG rewards need to be updated. Yeah, completely agree. I think they'll get to them soon. I think they're aware. Oh, thanks, Misty. All right. I guess I got to revive someone. We've already shown off earlier today how tanky Spider-Man can be. Let's see. Yeah, Trappy did just put out a great Odin video. So I don't think I ever finished the thought on why I was learning to punish the end of the heavy, or trying to. But that was exactly why. It does give you the time to back the heck up should you miss. Where if you go for the first part of the heavy and you miss, you got big problems. I do believe that was the debilitate coming in, so that's part of it. I'll have to do more fights and duels and try to showcase it better. But part of why I took Spidey to rank 2 is because, one, it's Spider-Man. I have a large account, so I can do some things like that sometimes that I don't suggest other people do. And I do think that due to his debilitate, he might end up being a pretty good Enchantress counter. And I think we saw it kind of come into effect there as well. He doesn't handle miss, but he's got the decelerate there as well. So that might be kind of helpful. And then all those taunts, things like that, make himself a little more tanky, spec into inequity, maybe handle her power a little bit. I think he's a good champion. So I was kind of happy and looking for reasons to rank him up. We'll look at chat a little bit, and then I think we're going to be signing off. Chappie makes you to rank all these low-key champs. It is cool. I mean, I like Chappie's channel for a lot of reasons. I find him funny, first of all, and second of I'm not going to list all the reasons. Maybe I'll do a top 10 reasons why I like Chappie's channel video later. But that is one too. Is he seems to enjoy finding kind of like some second or third tier champions and using them and showing like what they can do, and I think that's really cool. Also, you can always get a gem later, maybe Cyber Weekend. Justin. Oh, yeah. Thanks for helping me finish off that whole Punisher 29 talk. The reason why I'll probably go with him is exactly what you're saying. I also feel like we've seen champions from other crystals like this move into the basic. Now, I think Punisher 29 is good enough to come straight into a Titan as well. I'd be very happy with that addition. But I think there's a lot of reason to think that that will eventually happen. And, you got to pull him once before you can pull him twice. So I think the ability to secure getting Pun 2099 is probably where I'll go. It's just not exciting. It's just not exciting. like it would be to Awaken Man Thing or whatever. But I think Pun 29, for me and my purposes, is like a tier above the rest of the champions right now. We'll have to see how Venompool and Wags turn out. So yeah, I think I completely agree with your line of thinking there. Issues we have to see. Any version of Waking Gems. Yeah, Mike, I mean, I get you, but I think what I just said kind of responds to what you're saying too, even though I didn't see your question yet or your statement. I pulled all the 7-star Mega Champs and duped only Mole Man and Corvus. I'm highly considering throwing my Waking Gems that are shown into Quicksilver. Would you have any thoughts about that? Yeah, so Jay, I really like Quicksilver. I'm just not playing him as much. I don't think the game's like passed him by or anything like that, but I was a big Quicksilver proponent like early. I really enjoyed playing him. I thought he could do so much, tremendous damage capabilities, so much utility that was very, very relevant. Well, since then, like the science class just feels like it's continued to explode. And so, like, I took mine to rank 3. If I could do it all over again with the benefit of hindsight, I'd probably do it with Mole Man or Longshot. And if I was going to do it with Longshot, I probably would have awakened Longshot and put the 6 stones into him. And that is completely due to the way I play the game. Right now, like, Battlegrounds is the only mode I play competitively. I miss Tier 1. I'm not going to say I'll never go back to Tier 1. It's always something that's ruminating in the back of my mind, because I do enjoy it a lot. It just takes a lot. It takes a lot of time and things like that. So those are kind of my influences and my priorities. And I'm just not using Quicksilver there, where, like Jaeger has done a lot with his Mole Man. The Battlegrounds rankings and the general tier list are going to come out in the next 3 or 4 days. You're going to see Mole Man has gotten a slight promotion due to us ranking him higher, due to what we've seen Jaeger do with his rank 3 Mole. And we always did think Longshot was going to be good. So he's not getting a promotion based on anything we've seen in the last month or two. We had kind of, once we saw that he was going to be available as a 7, we just kind of put him right back. I think, again, Trappy. I do watch other channels besides Trappy. I just want to make that clear. I do want to make that clear. I do watch other channels besides Trappy's. But I think Trappy did a lot with his Longshot as well there too. So if you have all the Omegas and you could awaken Longshot and put the stones in, and that's like, if those are your priorities as well, you might want to consider that. There's a lot of really high tier Battlegrounds players in the chat right now too. If any of them, like Andy, if you're listening, you're still there, bud. If you had thoughts on that, as far as like Andy's like the C1 Battlegrounds player, so there's only like 5 people doing that. But yeah, you get his opinion as well. Spidey is not tactic though. That sucks. So, you're right. Did I just get like 0 credit for that? Was that like a completely wasted, as far as the objective or whatever the hell those things are called? Time for you to join Chaos. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? To be clear, yes, C2. Oh my God. The body's not even cold yet, Lord of Thunder. The body is not even cold. Oh, I guess it is over 24 hours, though. I guess it is over 24 hours. But my man is pulling no punches. That was pretty funny, though. I was watching that all live. I was watching, like, he's like, when he got to go back into the fight or a match. I don't even remember who he matched. You know what, man? Maybe we should chat. I come with a lot of high maintenance, dude. The people like Andy could probably attest to it. Although I don't think Andy was planning yet when I left for Loki. My weekend schedule is just, yeah. But yeah, I'd be very open to talking about it. I am happy in 4BGs. Right now, all the 4BGs guys are like, whoa, wait, what the hell is going on? I am extremely happy in 4BGs, and it's really fitting. I love how free my weekends are. But it is something that, like, they know. Abdo knows. He knows it, that I will always kind of hear I don't mean to make this sound as dramatic as it's going to, but kind of the siren's call of Tier 1 war. It's just, I just think the game's more, honestly, I think the game is more fun that way. I really do. Like the strategy and the planning and the nuance. And I think a lot of the champions are good in war or good in battlegrounds. There's a lot of crossover there. And so, but they're not all exactly the same. Like there's champions that can shine in one. Like I think Sunspot was probably a good example of a champion who's distinctly better in battlegrounds than he is in war. But there's also ones on the other side as far as good in war, in tier 1 war, that maybe aren't battlegrounds. So it provides more space for rank up. And it's Lorson saying, I gave up being free to play. I spent so long being free to play that that now that I'm whaling on the big offers, like I want to have a place to play all those champions. So don't miss the war stress. There's that for sure. So that's always the concern, right? Like, I mean, the vast majority of my friends that are in tier 1, a lot of qualifications to it, are in For Loki or SSX. They're consolidated in that. And those are two of the, I think they're two of the, I don't know. I'm not in tier 1 anymore, so I don't know quite the hierarchy. But I do know that SSX was top 3, I think, last season or 2 seasons ago. And I think they're top 10 this last season. And so that does come with a bit of, if I died, it could like really put me in a shit mood for the weekend. And I'm like, cool, I'm now pissed off at the world. Let's go to the park with the kids, hun, And like, I don't want to be that dad either. Where the kids are like, Dad, what's wrong? Why are you so angry? And it's like, shut up. I died in war. So that's obviously a me problem though, not a generic problem. Can you remind me when the big tournament is, date and time, please? So Justin, just to be totally clear, because I know this is going to be different for some people, and I was even hearing Andy try to explain it on stream yesterday, and he did a great job. But it is a little different. Is we're not doing tournaments, or you could think of it as like a big month-long tournament if you choose. It's more like how I believe UFC is run or how boxing is run. I've heard people analogize it to something called King of the Hill, which, I mean, I played that as a kid, brutal game, right? Like you just tried to beat the crap out of each other and whoever was left standing was the king of the hill. But this is more of, we have a rating. Right now it's loose because if the spreadsheet wizards don't have the time to put together like a very official detailed rating, I'm not going to rate people. I don't think that's fair to them. But it's basically like, because FinTech won 3 of the 4 tournaments I put on, we considered that a full season. Legacy won the first one, then FinTech won the last 3. He's the BBC champion. Like if I had a belt, I would give it to him, sort of idea, right? So he's that. And then Andy almost won a couple. I don't know if Andy had a full channel or not before the VBC, but I literally saw him get more and more dominant over the course of those tournaments. So it's not a surprise to see him doing what he does now, entertaining everybody, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of viewers, C1, just kicking ass, taking names and having a great time and like being funny while he does it. And so to me, he was just the obvious number 1 challenger. Like if I was going to not give the title to Finn, I would have started with Andy as the champion. And then, of course, I talked to some of the people on my Discord server, and I talked to the Discord, I call them the spreadsheet wizards, but the Adams. And everyone was just like, well, it's got to be Barrow. Like Barrow has to be the person to face whoever wins. And so each VBC currently is planned to have a championship match. This one's going to be FinTech versus Andy. And then I was lucky enough to land the 30-minute interview with Crashed. So that's going to be kind of like the pre-match show. Is me interviewing him, and he, I took questions from my Discord server, and he's told me too, he being Crash, is like, I got some info to share. I don't know what it's going to be, so please don't assume it's going to be like leaks or anything like that. I literally don't know what it's going to be, because I want to talk to him about, like, he plays the game, and so I want to talk to him about that experience. I think that's really interesting. I am going to ask him about the Titan, so don't worry, I am going to ask him. And I told him, I was like, I think you and I are going to disagree. He's like, I'm comfortable with that. And that's part of why I like the guy so much. He and I have disagreed about a lot of shit over 3 years, but I always respect where he's coming from. And I think he respects where I'm coming from. And so, and then in future VBCs, like in September, what I'm hoping to do is maybe line up like a like an undercard or like a celebrity match or like people who want to challenge for the championship, right? Like, I don't know. I'm still workshopping this and we'll see what viewers enjoy. But like, I definitely want to get Trappy involved in this. Shocking, right? I know you're like, you like Trappy? When did that happen? I would love to get Legacy involved if he'd be willing to match. Karate Mike, KT, like so many great streamers and Battlegrounds players available. Not Nagase, I love Nagase, such a great person. So I think the opportunities there are truly endless as far as MCoC is concerned, and they don't have to be streamers, right? Like we have people in the chat who are really, really high tier Battlegrounds players, but I do need them to have participated in other tournaments and be able to stream. So I'll talk with them if and when that comes up. I hope that explained all of that. I'm not ignoring you guys. I see you all talking Thunder and all that stuff. I appreciate what you're saying, man. Top 10 carry rewards. You guys should know, though, in all seriousness, I don't whale anywhere close to what I did. Like, I whale on the big events, and that's about it. Which I know is still whaling. I'm not trying to say I'm not, but like my account's like prestige isn't even that. I found out is actually not that great anymore as far as like competitive AQ and all that stuff. Dude, that's why I had to quit P1. Yeah, I mean, so many people have understood when I've done my videos or talked about like, hey, I'm leaving SSX or I'm leaving For Loki. Here's why, and just like, and I think my wife has even noticed in some ways where she hasn't like flat out come out and said, I don't recall, maybe she has, but she's like, you seem a little happier on the weekends. You seem a little like more involved, and I mean, yeah. So like I said, I come with a lot of like, okay, I don't do this and I don't do that. And I don't want to join an alliance and feel like I'm holding the alliance back. I want to feel like I'm helpful. And I'd like to think I'm a relatively smart man. So I know when, like, I would have these wonderful calls and like, bless his heart. You guys know TJ, and he'd be like, no, don't worry about it, man. We love you. You're great here. It's like, dude, I just freaking died to this thing. Come on. Like, don't try to tell me this isn't about loving a person. This is about you suck for what we're trying to do. Anyways. I'll read through the chats a little bit more. And again, I'm very happy in 4BGs. I am not, this isn't me saying like I'm leaving. Jay, awesome answer. I appreciate your thorough response. I have my Moman Longshot both at R2 at the moment. Wasn't sure how needed Longshot's dupe was, but I'll take your advice into consideration. Awesome, buddy. Let me know how it turns out. Celebrity match, bring in Lord, me and him have beef now. Dude, I've been watching the beef. Like, you all have been setting up the drama. I need this sort of drama. This is what we want. We want this. We want to sell a quality product to the people. You want everyone to know the true Andy when not on stream? Andy's a sweetheart, man. Andy's a sweetheart. I got to know him. We were in BG3 there at For Loki for quite a while together. And yeah, sorry, Mr. Ruff. I don't mean to let people know that you're actually an incredibly nice person. But I mean, like Spooky would allow a non-sweet person to be his dad. Come on. All right, guys, I got to bounce. This was always a blast. I streamed way longer than I intended because you all are fun to hang out with. Shoot. My YouTube's the worst, dude. If only Google had like more money, I'm sure they could really improve upon how they work. Is anyone streaming? Is there anyone that we could raid, or am I literally it? And that's why everyone was like, let's hang out and talk to Vega. You got it, Morshed, man. I enjoy hanging out too. BG streams are also family. All right, everybody. I've not seen anyone. I'm sure someone out there is streaming. It's just YouTube sucks. Thank you so much. I'll catch you all tomorrow for, of course, a general tier list. And make sure you tune in for the VBC. Or you can watch it on playback. Just avoid all spoilers. But we're going live Saturday, 10:30 a.m. One-on-one interview with Kabam Crash. Presented all commercial-free by Usafa Gaming of For Loki. FinTech versus Andrew the Ref. Doesn't get better than that. Take care, everybody. Oh, and huge thank you to Fernand Loney for the donation. Bye, everybody.